striking.
Hey, and welcome back to Loosely Related Podcast, episode 21. And today is November 16th, 2019, and this show is going to be released on the 19th, Tuesday the 19th of November. So, I want to make sure that we have the date so you know it's right, because when you record before the date, you know
We
what
do.
I'm saying?
We
We
usually
record a couple of days before the
Well,
time,
we
before the date.
recorded our entire show 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is all. Yeah, we have a time machine.
We're
Yeah,
freaking
we
time
did
travelers.
that.
We never know what the day is.
Yeah, exactly.
And considering the fact that you're just a hologram, it's very
Right.
easy for him that he can bounce back and
Right.
forth and appear as however he wants to appear. And
Well,
actually,
the weird thing is my hologram's on the fritz this week. I can never get it exactly right. One week it looks like me. The next week it looks like, Rob. I'm trying to get through.
I'm
Rob
really
and-
Rob,
confused
it's
as
like-
to how this is working. We
Exactly.
might all be holograms
Yeah,
at this point. Who
at this
frickin'
point.
knows?
our producer Brian's bouncing around in hologram form.
He
So
really
he's
is.
over here on my right as
Yeah.
Rob, but
Yeah.
in the form of Brian.
in the form of Brian,
Yeah.
which
Actually,
is weird, but
actually,
Rob got Benjamin Button syndrome.
yeah,
Yeah, he did.
yeah, exactly.
He
He's
got
aging in reverse.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
next week there'll be a baby here that looks with a hat
Yeah.
on and hiding his forehead and all that stuff.
For
For
But,
sure. Yeah.
But no, actually, right now our other host Rob is
Rob.
actually not feeling good.
Yeah.
He has a something on his stomach. It's bothering him. He's in a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort.
He
couldn't make the
has,
show today, so
Skin and like
Like a
MRSA.
something.
MRSA. It's,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like a
MRSA.
skin thing, which is like a fairly serious. Very well. No, I shouldn't say it's very serious. Like skin infection. It's
Yeah,
super painful.
fasciitis or some sort of thing like that. It
Yeah,
is called it a form.
necrotizing fasciitis.
Necrotizing
Yeah,
fasciitis.
basically,
yes.
it's that. Yeah, I believe.
I thought you
it's
were going to say
the-
something else.
Well, I believe it's developing into the bubonic plague. It's
Yeah.
he has the plague, the Black Death. I believe it was.
And I think
yeah.
it probably came from this basement.
Yes.
more than
Well,
likely.
100%. Yeah.
So more than likely, I'll be out in the next
Yeah.
episode. He'll
So
be
we don't
taking
know
over
if we'll
from
be
me.
here next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't know. We might all be zombies. Rob definitely bit me more than once. So,
Yes.
and
Yeah, and you're already starting to change
I'm
a
already
little bit.
doing it. Yeah,
It's
but
starting
I'm a
to-
hologram, so it doesn't work the same.
Doesn't really
way.
matter, right?
It's
It
the
kind of
same.
How
it goes.
does that work?
It's just like a little
Yeah.
bit of interference in your appearance.
Exactly.
A little bit. So yeah, but that's cool. But again, Rob, we hope you feel better,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Feel better.
Feel
and we
better,
want you
buddy.
back as soon as you can.
Get
So,
better soon. We need you, dude.
Definitely
and you're a
need
nurse,
you.
so you should be able to take care of yourself. I think.
Right? How does that work?
I don't know how nurses. I guess you could, right?
I-
It's like
technically-
professionally, you can't be a lawyer in a courtroom.
Yeah.
Like you can't be
Right,
a
you
lawyer.
can't
They don't
represent-
recommend that. So maybe
Phoenix
it's the same
Wright
kind of thing
did
with a nurse.
Yeah, well, you can do it because Ted Bundy did it.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. He
He
did.
did.
So now
right?
are we analogy of comparing Rob to Ted Bundy?
Well, I mean, I usually do. Ted Bundy, Rob is like usually I'm always like, oh, you got guys like Ted Bundy, you got Rob, you got
Yeah.
Ray Charles. It's always like the same
Okay,
general
I
three guys.
understand now,
Ray
yes,
Charles.
so,
Yeah.
So feel better, Rob. And in the meantime, we have Brian again with us on
Sitting
my right
in.
instead of
Thank
my
you,
left,
Brian.
taking over for Rob and doing
Yeah.
both the hosting duties and the producing
Why not?
duties as well, because he's going to
Editing.
double check all my information because I keep throwing out information out there that's not exactly right. So,
Right, true.
so yeah. So
Like,
if I
for
do,
example-
you make sure you catch me on
Definitely.
that and embarrass me in front of all of our
So,
people out
absolutely.
there. Okay.
Yeah. Well, first thing
Will
I
do.
just want to correct you on right off the bat. I'm obviously back this week,
Yes.
and
Right.
my dad was completely wrong. I was not in Long Island. Here's
I
the
was
thing.
close,
You
though.
were
was in-
about
you were
6
in
or
New
7
York
hours
still.
off. I guess. Well, no, I shouldn't say that long.
No.
But by train, maybe if you get like if there's like an accident on the
Yeah.
train or some shit like that.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. But anyway, I went to. I wasn't here last episode. I went to a bachelor party for my friend Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tom. Congratulations, buddy. I had a great time. I went to visit my friend Rich, who lives in Manhattan. We went to a bachelor party weekend. But the big thing that you didn't mention, and I was so
I
surprised.
know. I don't know why I didn't mention
As
this.
as everyone on this show knows who's watched us for really even like probably 3 or 4 episodes,
Yeah.
we are big New York Giants fans,
Right.
and huge football guys. And the big thing of the weekend, we hung out the whole weekend, but the big thing was the culmination on Sunday. We were able to go. We got tickets to the New York Jets versus the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium.
The
Yeah.
Tank Bowl.
The
The
Tank
Tank
Bowl,
Bowl. The
which
Tank Bowl.
unfortunately, of course, the teams have to suck
Yeah,
this
that's
year.
a good name for that.
It is the
I
best.
like that.
Yeah,
It's either that or the
That.
toilet bowl.
well, see, I was gonna
But-
say I was saying the number 1 bowl, which is just because it's a battle for the number 1 overall pick. That's what
Yeah,
That's basically what it is.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad.
They're both trying to see who can get that pick.
But the Jets destroyed their own tank.
But the Jets,
they did. They ruined it.
In typical Jets fashion, they can't even tank correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Even
when the one time when they should lose, they actually win.
They actually win, exactly.
Yeah, that's typical Jets stuff.
But
in my own defense for that, though, I wasn't the host.
Oh, fair enough.
True. Rob was the host
That's
that week.
true.
So it should have been his responsibility to know where you were.
I don't think Rob even knew that I was going to be here. Rob got here and he was like that scene in Anchorman where he's like, You're not Ron. Like he's like looking at Brian across the table.
So well, it could have been the plague.
It could have been the plague. That's what it was. It was starting to. Exactly. It's rotting his brain out. One of those things.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob. Just kidding, buddy.
It could have been infected.
Yeah.
In that episode. I think it might have been. So yeah.
But yeah,
that happened.
The game was still fun though. It sucked that they lost, but it was always my dream to go see a Jets-Giants game. For those who don't know, they only play once every 4 years, so it was really cool. Yeah. But that's where I was.
And in all of those times, I think Joey's gone to. I went to 2 or 3 with you.
I've been to 3.
With me.
I've been to 2 with you. I've been to 3 Giants games in total, and Giants have lost miserably in all 3 games.
Right.
Yeah,
so he has yet to see the Giants win at home in Giants Stadium.
Yep.
Although in a way it was at Jets. It was
technically a Jets home game, so it's a little different.
But they're both at the freaking MetLife.
So
I
know. MetLife,
whatever.
Right.
They're both going to suck until they get their own stadiums.
That's true. That's a good point. There you go. I don't know.
Cross-contamination.
Exactly. We can't share the same locker. I hate sharing my locker with this guy.
I wonder how that works.
I think they actually do have their own separate locker room.
Yeah,
they have the Jets locker room and the Giants locker room.
But it's not like the Giants would have to go to the visitors' locker room.
Yeah. True. No.
They come out of the visitors' tunnel, though. I think.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. So, that makes sense. Yeah, I believe that.
So that's what happened last week. What do we got this week?
Yeah, what's going on?
So we have a bunch of different things, but before we get into that, I just want you guys to realize that you can get in touch with us at various sites, and among those sites is the Loosely Related Podcast.com website is where we have our main site where you can listen to our feeds there. Just pull them up. You can also subscribe to our Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at LRPodcast and on Instagram at Loosely _related and Facebook. And don't forget to like and subscribe at all of those sites. Follow us on Spotify and iHeart and Apple Podcasts, Google Play. Hit the notification button. And again, leave your comments. Let us know what you think. And we'll try to incorporate what you think is cool into the show. So, I was thinking last week when we ended our podcast last week, I thought I like a couple of things to talk about. I thought it'd be kind of funny to talk about because it just sort of frustrated me. And, things going on in your house, just stupid little things in your life that just frustrate the crap out of you. And I think everybody goes through it. We used to, in my house particularly, I have a pet peeve with my socks. I have ankle socks, and I have 2 sons who love that's all they wear is their ankle socks. I used to wear the higher ones, the crew socks.
Yeah.
Do you remember the crew socks?
Yeah.
You guys wouldn't be seen dead in those crew socks.
That's why you have no hair above your ankles, because you wore the crew socks so high that it literally stopped the hair from growing.
Yeah, so the bottom portion of my legs got no hair on it because of the crew socks thing.
Yeah.
And then I because of my sons got into the ankle socks and no shows, and then I started buying those, and then they started disappearing out of my drawers.
Yeah.
And I couldn't keep them, so I'd buy a 10-pack of ankle socks, and they disappear. And then they would disappear, and then they would disappear, and I'd constantly find out, where's my ankle sock? And then on top of that, I'd have people borrowing the socks. And another thing that drives me nuts in that is they would walk around the house and wear them as slippers around the house. And they'd come back to me. But my nice gold toe ankle socks would be ruined with holes in them. They'd be dirty on the bottom of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stupid, frustrating things.
You grew up you were like the Willy Wonka people, where you never left your bed, so you didn't have to worry about ever tearing up your socks because you just slept in the bed all day.
I still
Grandpa
do that.
Joe and
you guys
Willy
just
Wonka.
pulled me. You guys carried me down here and put me in the seat so I could do the podcast.
Exactly.
You carried me back upstairs and put me in the bed.
Yeah.
And my gold toes
golden
actually.
ticket.
Yeah. And then Joey runs around the house singing that song too. He sings the golden ticket song.
With no golden ticket.
With no actual golden ticket.
Cheer up, Charlie.
Yeah, all right, let's not even, don't even do it. I'll kill myself.
I totally feel that. I know the other day with my Canon.
Yeah.
And this isn't with people in my house, but I know I always find problems with technology in my life all the time. I'm constantly buying stuff that says it's going to work and it doesn't actually work for what I need. But I was recording something, and it was in my computer room. and for some reason there was a clicking sound picking up on the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like trying to troubleshoot it, and I'm just like, oh my freaking god. So I go on YouTube and like this like panicked rage, like I'm just working myself up.
Yeah.
And I'm going through these tutorials on YouTube, and these freaking guys have like these like, you know, I don't even know, like digital, like, you know, freaking animated intros that last for 20 freaking seconds.
I hate that. Yep.
And it's like, and then they do like a 2-minute introduction to the tutorial.
Yeah.
Don't even get to the tutorial, and then it's
Right.
like you're 5 minutes into the video, and,
And
then it's
then you're like, I wasted my time.
yeah,
I gotta look for
and then
something
it doesn't
else.
even
Yeah.
tell you
Oh
the
god,
freaking
I hate
fix.
when that
Yep.
happens.
Yep.
But
Yep.
thankfully, this guy made like a 2-minute thing. He's like, oh yeah, literally what you actually it was 3 minutes for
Yeah.
30 seconds of explanation to say, oh yeah, if you put this near your computer and record, it's gonna click. So just don't do that.
And that's it.
And then I
like-
went into my bedroom and it worked.
Yeah, there you go.
An hour and a half I spent on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
hate
oh
that
my
too because
gosh.
I always do
That's
that
the
for
worst.
like I'll do that for like if I need to fix something on my car. I'm not sure how
Yeah,
to
of
fix
course,
it,
that's
so
a
I'll
big
look
one.
up a YouTube
That's the
video
big
on it.
one. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
sometimes you'll have a particular car that you'll look up, and there's just not that many videos
Yeah.
about that particular car
Yeah,
on
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And you say, oh, I want to look up how to install a timing belt or whatever it is, and you punch it in, and it comes up, and the guy starts talking about the car, like you said, and they spend like 20 minutes like taking it apart, and they get to the part where you think and it's not the right thing. So you have to stop, go back, find another video, watch another one until you
Right.
finally find
If
something.
if you're a channel that does that, I don't like you.
Yeah,
seriously.
seriously, man. I mean,
Yeah, we definitely don't do that on Loosely Related.
we don't
ever.
do that.
We've never done extra long intros that take too long and never go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's a good
We've
point.
never done that.
That's a good point.
We
No,
never did, you know.
But like there's a funny thing is like the other big thing that I do is like you know I play guitar or whatever. When you're looking up a guitar video, guitar tutorials. So first of all, they will play the song, like they'll play the song first.
Yeah.
So like I told you I could play it. But then I'm sitting there waiting for you to like play the whole 4-minute song, and then it's like, okay, now we're gonna go step by step, and here's how you play it. You do this, 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 and this. Okay, now you know how to play it. Like so, like all right. So your tutorial, you put tutorial in the headline, so you can get people to click on your video to watch. You see, hey, see, I can play Thunder. I can play Thunderstruck, man. Check it out.
yeah, now would be. Now I'm
Yeah.
going to relate that to one of the frustrating things because I have needle nose pliers and I'm a nice kit, and I like to try
Yeah.
to keep my kits together, right?
Right.
So I have a beautiful kit and everything's there. I got my hammer, my screwdrivers. I got all my little bits in there. I've got my wire cutter and my needle nose and my everything's in there nice
Yeah.
and neat. Then the one day I need my needle nose plier, I go down to get my needle nose plier and it's missing. My case is open.
Of course
needle
it
nose
is.
plier's gone.
Yep.
And guess where it is? Joey has
Where
it
is
because
it?
he has to repair his guitar. He's
Oh
putting
yeah.
new strings on
True.
his guitar.
That's true.
So I need the needle nose. So I have to go find it. It's in Joey's room.
It's in my room. Usually, I take that stuff.
yeah.
every now and
It's
then.
not just you though.
Yeah, no, of course.
I'm
but
also
mostly.
guilty of it because then if I don't put the stuff back, then and
Right.
there's always that one tool that you need, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's always
It's
that.
like
That's just how it works.
Or it's the remote control. That's the big one, right? The
Oh,
big
my
one everybody
goodness.
loses is their TV remote, which is like just like that's it. You're screwed. You can never find it.
You know, luckily Christine is a little OCD when it comes
Right.
to remotes.
Oh, in
if
our
you
house,
leave them there,
my sister is like, yeah.
you leave them in one spot, and she puts it right back in top of the DVD player
Yeah.
on the rack underneath the
Exactly
television.
90 degree.
90 degrees,
Yeah.
right in the same spot, right next to one
Yeah.
another all the time. So
True.
as long
That's
as if I leave them in the chair and I get up, I go to the bathroom, I come back, the remotes are back there. It's
Yeah,
like
that's true.
she could be
That's
up in
true.
her room and somehow
Hilarious.
radar tells her that the remotes
Oh
are
my
not
God,
in
it
the proper
moved.
place, and she'll come down, put the remotes
Yeah.
back, go back up to her room. It's
Right,
it's,
right.
It's uncanny, but yeah, I mean, it's just there's still silly little things like that, you know. It's just crazy little things.
I mean, I know for me, like one of the big things that I always have a problem with is like it's such a silly thing, and you might not know it if you don't play guitar. But back to that because it just reminded me of something. There's this really weird thing for guitarists, and I watched a YouTube video, like you know, like they do top 10 things all guitarists have to deal with, and like they're like I mean you could find it for any. You could find like top 10 things all people who love to cook have to deal with. It's just like funny montages of like some person is acting out. Well, there's one that was hilarious for guitarists, and one of the like number 3 was when you're playing and you drop your pick. There's something about a plastic pick when it hits the floor, it goes into a vortex and it disappears forever, and you can't find it. And the video's like, where did it go?
Yeah.
Like, where
Oh
the
my
hell,
gosh, dude.
You cannot find it.
Yeah, it's funny.
I feel like now in my life I'm not as like an angry person as I was when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But when that happens, I
Yeah.
lose my mind.
When like, you drop something,
I
you just
lose my mind.
like, where
Like coins.
coins is big.
I don't play guitar, but when I
Yeah.
was trying to learn guitar picks,
Yeah, guitar
anything
picks.
small that like
Yeah.
drops and then goes
Yeah, and
into
it
another
disappears. It goes as
Oh my
far
God.
away from you as possible.
Yeah,
Like, it wouldn't normally.
Like
It
a
wouldn't
screw's a big
normally.
one,
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's like if you're
screws.
putting a screw together.
Yeah.
Like if you don't care, it will
Yeah.
drop right there and
Yep.
stop.
Yeah.
But
right.
But
It just
if you're like
defies the
trying
laws
and
of
you
physics.
drop it,
Yeah.
or you're putting a cap on a bottle because you have to cap it so it doesn't spill, and
Yeah.
you can't move, you drop the cap, it hits, rolls 20 feet away from you
Yeah.
into underneath something.
It is the most
And
important screw
underneath
ever.
the stove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to like take the stove apart to get the cap out of there. Meanwhile, you're holding the bottle
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
spilling all over the place. It's
True.
like, crazy
It's
things.
so
like,
true.
Yeah, it's so insane, man.
Screws
Yeah.
is a big
Sucks.
one. If you ever drop, like, I remember one time we were repairing something that had a spring, and like we were like, all right, just don't drop that spring, because if you drop that spring, we're gonna lose it forever. And I was like,
Yeah.
we're not gonna lose it forever. And of course, you drop it, and normally it would just fall like like sideways, no big deal.
Yeah.
But it falls exactly perfectly, and it bounced. I
You know,
mean, I would assume to the moon, into
it's
the
not on the
stratosphere.
planet
It's
anymore.
no
It
longer on the
disappears
planet.
completely,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
gone.
It was the first thing to land on Neptune.
That was the first.
Yeah,
that was
it's
the
like-
first man on Mars. was
They're
that.
they're gonna get a spaceship to those places one day, and they're gonna.
Why is there
land and say,
springs everywhere?
everybody's missing things are gonna be there.
There's gonna be like Minecraft plushies. And,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other half of your socks
The other half,
pairs are
yeah.
gonna be there.
Wow.
You
Now
know
it
what I'm
makes
saying?
sense. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where they all go. We used to blame that on the borrowers. That when we were growing up, we used to say
Yeah.
anytime your socks or something disappeared, we would say
Right.
the borrowers are at it again. And
Yeah.
they're stealing your stuff and
Yeah.
they're hiding it. And it's the little people live in your house and they steal all your stuff. They made a movie about the borrowers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah. They actually did.
They
Yeah.
made a like a semi-animated
Yeah.
movie.
It's
about the
called
borrowers.
Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11.
Ocean's
yes.
11. It's like
they
some
stole all the
movie.
money out
They
of
steal
the,
everything.
they stole
I
all
hate
the
when
money.
I lose all my money from my vault. I
Yes.
hate that. That's
So-
really funny, man.
Yeah,
That is something I always have to deal with.
I kind of thought that segment would go on a little longer. We'd
Yeah.
have more to talk about with that. But
Well,
it's
you know
kind
what's
of funny
is it's one of those things where it's like it brings back a lot of memories, right? It brings back all the different times. But at the end of the day, it's like there's so many things to talk about. It's almost like you can't even think of
You
anything.
go on
We
and
could
on about
because that's one of those topics where you're either going to talk about
Yeah.
it for literally 3 hours straight,
Right.
just complaining about all the different things, or you're just going to say,
Yeah.
I can't talk about it anymore. I'm getting too angry. I'm
Yeah,
getting too
yeah.
frustrated.
It's too frustrating.
I'm going to lose my mind if I have to keep thinking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know what? I'm gonna go right now. I'm gonna go look for my socks right now. I'm leaving.
I
Sorry,
hate
guys.
that. You go to your sock drawer and there's like you have like
Yeah.
20 pairs of socks, but none of them match.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other
Basically.
thing that sucks too.
You
know
find
what I
one
mean?
sock. and
Yeah,
just-
but you find the one sock. Hey, well, this was my nicest sock.
Yeah.
There's no way anyone else wears them. Which is like the best part was like I remember like when I was looking for we went to the Giants game to get like the thermal socks.
Yeah.
I was like I couldn't find the other one of yours, and I was like, okay, first of all, there's no way anyone took
Yeah, no.
these thick thermal socks.
Yeah.
'Cause who wants to
And
wear
I only
that?
wear them when we go to the Giants game or when I go skiing.
and we only go to a
Yeah.
Giants game once every 37 years.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
where is it?
Yeah.
It's like okay,
Where
I
did it
know it's
disappear?
somewhere.
I think it did turn up. Though.
It did turn up. We did find
no
it.
one
That was
wants
all
that
right.
sock, and the borrowers don't even want that sock.
No, they don't.
You
They
know?
definitely do not.
So yeah, it's
Um,
pretty funny. So
yeah.
so you guys, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
What do you think? I wanted to ask you guys.
Yes,
'cause
I
was
will
thinking-
take $1 million.
Yeah,
I appreciate
would you
it,
guys
yes.
want me to-
Yeah,
would
yeah.
you want $1 million?
100%. Yes.
No.
You wouldn't want $1 million.
I'm not,
Brian's-
you know what, Brian? You're a good
Brian's a
guy. I
modest
suppose
guy.
that. I'll take Brian's $1 million.
All
Yeah.
right, so
There we
Joey's
go.
going to get the $2 million.
There we go.
There was another thing that I had talked about. Wanted to talk about
Yeah.
anyway. About like when I was a kid, I was reminiscing about those stupid things we used to do.
Right.
Missing socks and all this stuff, and it made me think about. I started thinking about the shows I used to watch when I was a kid. So I
'Cause
wanted to see.
Right.
I wanted to talk about the shows I used to watch when I was young, 8, 9,
Yeah.
10 years old.
Mhm.
They had TV back then? They had television? They had working,
Believe it or not, they
talking
did.
pitches.
They used to talking pictures. Yeah, they used to have talking pictures. And the guy used to stand there with a wind-up camera, and they used to take the pictures.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
move,
yeah.
You know, I used to do the little flip card. And, say, wow, did you see
What
that
is
last?
the viewfinder? What's
Did
the
you
view-
see
That was
episode
innovative.
3?
Yeah.
Did you see episode 3 of the flip
That
cards?
was amazing, man.
It was one of the best episodes I've ever
I
seen.
can't believe he was the killer the whole time.
Joey
Oh, man.
Joey has some really great imitations. You're gonna have to do a whole show.
I'll do it. Just
one time of just we'll all do voices of whatever you do the
wait,
1950s type
I
talk
like the
stuff, and
the
I'll do
night-
like
yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
I'll
you
just
do it. Well, you know Donald Duck. Your Donald
I'll do
Duck is
Donald
pretty
Duck.
solid.
What
Well,
the
that
hell
was-
just happened?
Incredible, man. Donald Duck was here. There you go.
So
It's
um,
amazing. You've always been good at that.
Yeah, I can't.
I
really
want
get
to
words
do one
for it too much
episode
of
where
it.
I just talk in a British accent, like just be like every
We should do
every
that.
YouTuber nowadays is, "Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's
Welcome
going
to
on?"
the
He does really
What's
good.
up, guys?
What's up? Hey guys.
He does really good imitations of lots of different things. So
it's pretty
we
funny.
should do a whole episode just doing that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
we definitely should.
But I wanted to talk about my shows. Like when I grew
Sure,
up,
man.
we used to have Saturday morning programming.
Right.
And back then we only had probably 13 channels. There wasn't
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
There wasn't a lot of channels. You had your basic television. And we didn't even have there was no remote. It was a dial. Click, 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 click. You had the 13 channels on the thing, and you had the you had the UHF, and you had the VHF. And I remember
what the
when I
hell
was
is UHF? I don't even know what that is.
VHF was what? VHF was video. I don't even know what. Could you check that what it was back in the day? VHF versus UHF.
I've heard of VHF.
Now VHF was basically the first 13 channels on your television.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was in video.
Okay.
I don't know. You have to look it up.
Yeah.
VHF very high frequency, UHF ultra high frequency.
All right. So
okay, fair enough.
All right. So on the ultra high frequency,
SHF was stupid high frequency.
you could have when I was when I was a kid, we used to have the antenna thing on the house. We didn't have cable in the beginning when I was very young.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And you used to have to spin that antenna to get a good reception on your television.
That's totally.
That's great.
And you would pick up the 13 channels pretty good, but it'd be sometimes a little snowy. But sometimes, if you were lucky, you could switch to the UF. You could switch the 13 channels, right?
Yeah.
In the middle of the 13 channels, there was this one setting where it's like between 0 and or between 13 and the 1 was for UHF. So you click to that, then you start clicking. There's 50.
Yeah.
Click, and you could flip around on that. And if you're lucky, you could pick up some random programming on there.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was. It might pick up a Spanish channel from a different country. Just weird
A
stuff.
Russian spy channel.
Yeah,
A
something
Russian
something
like
spy
that.
channel, or
Yeah,
just some
right.
underground, terrorist organization.
Right.
We didn't have them back
Right.
then, but
Maybe
it
as
was
far
weird.
as you
So
know.
you could pick up as it started to grow and people wanted to do. It was like the AM versus the FM. The
Sure.
UHF
Oh,
was
wow.
like for people who want to do independent programming. And
Oh,
things
cool.
Like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And they could
That's
do
cool they
like
had
their own
that.
things, and they could
Like a
get their-
podcast. Do a podcast.
Yeah, almost like that. And you can sometimes pick up very grainy images of things.
Right.
That's scary.
That is
Yeah.
actually really
That's kinda
scary.
creepy.
Yeah,
That's where you first got with your what are the the freaking the ghost shit? What is it again? The EVPs.
The
EVPs.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
EVPs.
that's probably where it comes from.
That's probably where EVPs come
Oh,
from.
yeah.
They're all
They
from
might
that.
even come from that. The ultra high frequency. They
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
take an old television,
Yeah.
Honestly,
take
no
the
one
guts
heard
out
of.
of the television, and they
Yeah.
try to pick up random.
Just hold the microphone up to it.
Because it's
people,
not
it's-
ghosts.
It's
not-
not ghosts.
it's
It's just
definitely not
people
ghosts.
actually in the back jibber jabbering that you
Yeah.
can't even understand them, and they try to make them form words that, and
Yeah.
then we try to test each other here on Loosely
Right.
Related Podcast of what they're actually saying. But some of my favorite programming when we grew up was the Abbott and Costello. I used to have
Oh
Abbott,
yeah.
and I know I introduced it when you were a kid.
So
right?
funny. Yeah, when I was a kid, but you got me into it when I was younger. Abbott and Costello was just so funny. Like certain comedy, I feel like, it's old fashioned, it's old timey, but like the comedy itself, like that, like the
It's timeless.
performing of that comedy, I think it's like timeless.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I went back and I watched Abbott and Costello Meet Dracula
Oh, it's one of
recently,
your favorite
and
ones.
it's so
It's still-
funny. It's still like I'm still cracking up laughing at, man. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
The one with them. Abbott was there. Costello was there, and
And the coffin starts
the
opening
coffin
up.
starts opening up with Dracula, and he's
I've
trying
never
to
seen
call.
Yeah, he's trying to
Abbott,
call
and he's
Abbott.
whistling, and he can't get his words out. It's really funny. They're still timeless classics.
Yeah,
to
they
me.
are,
You
totally.
know, I love those who used to have the cartoons in the morning.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite cartoons were on in the morning. I think my favorite one was the one called Gigantor.
Gigantor.
I
Okay.
love Gigantor.
Okay.
Maybe you could throw a little intro to
Maybe.
Gigantor on the
Or something, I don't
Yeah,
know.
something. At least a picture.
It's still
of it.
out there.
I don't.
You
I've
can
never
find
even
them on
heard of it.
YouTube,
What,
or you can find them on
Gigantor?
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? So
It
give
was
me a
a-
little bit of
It's a
description.
robot. It was almost like it's almost kind of like reminiscent of the Superman kind of thing. Like
Okay.
But he was a big robot, and he would be in this.
He looks like the Iron Giant a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh, cool. That's
yeah.
awesome. Love the Iron
And
Giant.
if there was some bad thing happening, whatever, the bad guys or the bad guys, something happened, and they needed
Yeah.
Gigantor. They would call Gigantor. And there'd just be
Gigantor.
this big, like, Gigantor. The song would come on, and
Yeah.
he would come out, and he would start up, and then he would fly off, and he would save the
Nice.
day. And it
Really?
was just like,
No
it was
shit.
really fun.
And it was animated or no?
it was an animated cartoon
oh,
called
that's pretty
Gigantor.
I can talk about cartoons.
That must have been like one of the
days from
first.
my childhood.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Because as soon as you said animated, I was like, well, that was my entire childhood.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
exactly.
Well, you said Saturday morning, shows.
Saturday morning programming.
right?
So I'm going to just go over mine, and I want you
Yeah,
guys to go over yours.
seriously, because that reminds me. That just brings sort of got my juices
Oh,
flowing
sure.
now
So that's
with
what I
all
want. That was
yeah.
that was my
Intention. There you go.
there. I
There
wanted
you
to get
go.
you guys
my backup
thinking,
brain.
your brains going
Yeah.
on what you
Yeah,
used to
totally.
watch when you were a kid. So of course it was Abbott and Costello.
Right, and this
and
Gigantor,
it was
you
their
said,
movie
right?
segments that they had, and then they used to have the Marx Brothers shows used to be on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
I used to watch. I think He-Man was on. I used to watch.
He-Man was on that.
Yeah, and they used. And they had the
I
He-Man
have
doll.
the power.
I have the power.
Yeah.
And I used to watch those. What other things that I used to watch? And I'll have to come back to it. But there was lots of different great
Dad,
shows.
the big one that you love, and this you mentioned this to me. I'm thinking of Little Rascals.
Oh, Little Rascals.
Little
yes,
Rascals.
Little
You
Rascals
loved
were a big
that,
one
man.
on. And Saturday morning, I used to love the Little Rascals. It was my favorite things to watch.
Yeah, man.
And the original classics, they had different ones because they tried to had a. When the Little Rascals grew up a little bit,
Yeah.
they weren't nearly as
they
good.
tried to do
No.
that.
Yeah, they were a little bit older, and
That does happen with actors and actresses. A
Yeah,
little bit.
so
we got another phone going off. Look
Yep.
at that. It's mealtime.
yes,
This
it
is
is. So so there was a lot of fun things.
Three
we used to
Stooges.
do.
Don't forget that too. You had mentioned that to me
Oh,
as
that
well,
was-
right?
Stooges, my brother was a really
He was-
big fan of the
yeah,
Three Stooges.
That was like okay.
Their comedy was just fun. It's a slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
I think they're hitting each other.
I mean, they were like the first. Like they kind of created slapstick comedy,
they did,
kind of. You know, like
absolutely.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that was like
Yeah.
real stuff too. They were
Yeah.
smacking each other. They would get hurt, man.
Crazy.
And they had it was Mo, Larry, and Curly, and they also
Yep.
had Shemp.
Yeah.
Was one of the guys because I think it was Curly. No, not Curly. Mo, Larry, and Curly.
Yeah.
It was Curly was the bald-headed
Yeah.
guy, and then Shemp would be in his spot sometimes. So I think. When Curly left, or for whatever reason he
Yeah.
left, Shemp took over for him, and there
All
was
right.
Mo, Larry, but they were also funny together. That
Yeah,
was-
hilarious, man.
Yeah, and they're classic things.
Literally classics.
But yeah, those are some of the things I used to,
Yeah, man.
used to watch, and maybe you guys could think back to your day.
Easily.
I'm sure it'll bring back memories. Of
So
things we used to
Yeah,
I
man.
don't know about you, but
Yeah.
I grew up in like the golden age of cartoons
You
with
did.
Nickelodeon and
Yes.
Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
sure.
SpongeBob when that
Yeah.
was like really. I mean, I don't know if I watched it. I think it's still probably good. It's still
yeah,
going.
yeah.
Was
yeah,
Barney?
probably.
Was Barney? or
That
was
that
probably more my
It was
generation.
yours?
Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit. I know I
Yeah.
watched a little bit of
Yeah.
Barney.
Like I
Yeah.
think like I was like with like Sesame Street and like that whole thing. It
Yeah.
was like kind of like
Um,
right starting like Mr. Rogers. Well, that was a little bit farther back, but
Yeah.
the point is that it was like right around that time.
Yeah. So
Sharon
for
Lois
me,
and Bram.
Yeah.
no, I don't think I watched
No,
them.
all right.
No,
I
yeah.
watched like Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, the big ones,
Foster's Home.
Yeah.
Gosh, what was Courage the Cowardly Dog a little
Right.
bit.
Yep.
SpongeBob obviously, and then
Zoe 101.
yeah,
obviously.
Zoe 101, Drake
Remember
and
that?
Josh.
Drake
yeah,
and Josh.
totally.
Yeah. That's a little bit like we're getting a little bit like we were probably like 9 or 10 at that point. Maybe.
Yeah,
like
probably.
yeah.
Well, maybe.
But either way, yeah.
What
but
was that one
100%.
with the kid who was on Saturday Night Live now? And he had
Oh,
his show?
all right. So that was
yours.
yes. No. So that was definitely my generation. I was going to mention it. So that was Keenan and Kel.
Keenan and Kel.
Keenan
and Kel,
Thompson, yeah.
Keenan Thompson, and then they went on to make the movie Good Burger. I don't know if you guys
Good
have ever
Burger,
seen.
yes.
It's actually on Netflix if you want to watch it. I just saw that recently. Yeah. But they were on all that, which was like a Nickelodeon
yeah,
sketch
all that.
comedy
Yeah,
show.
that was a
That's what
funny
it
one. I
was.
used to watch
Nickelodeon.
that
Yeah, you
stuff.
used
It was funny.
hilarious. It was like a kid's version of SNL.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why Keenan Thompson honestly does so well on SNL.
Yeah, yeah.
He grew up in that life.
Right. That's what he did.
But
so.
yeah, definitely, like you were saying, SpongeBob. Like even SpongeBob was definitely my generation
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I was older, but I remember watching it. But like we're talking about like when you were a kid, like when I was a kid, the big thing that I remember was just Pokemon. Pokemon was everything. Pokemon was my entire Saturday morning. I would get up and I would watch it, and then I would rewatch the episode a lot of the times, and like that was like my entire generation. And then I started doing the Pokemon cards and all that
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Did you have,
Man,
you
that was
had
big.
Yu-Gi-Oh
You used to
too,
love
right?
I had Yu-Gi-Oh too. Yu-Gi-Oh was huge. I was super into
Power-
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers was
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I didn't even think about that. Power
For
Rangers.
sure.
You
For
were
sure.
every kid was into Power Rangers.
Yeah, I think
every
so.
kid loved Power Rangers. You had the dolls. Did you have the dolls? I
Yes.
think you had the
yes.
dolls. Right?
Yeah. Of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
So that was like one of the biggest shows.
Yeah.
And then they made how many movies
VeggieTales.
after that?
VeggieTales.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was something that my mom would buy me that after CCD when I did that when I went to CCD, which is Catholic something Catholic
Christian initiate Christian
Christian
Catholic
department.
Christian cookies
Yeah.
delight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Christian cookies
Sure.
delight. There we go. Got it. Okay.
Christian cookies in
Um,
Asia.
Yeah, I never got into them too much, but no, the big thing I remember too is like Pokemon, Power Rangers, of course. I can't believe I forgot that. That was huge for me. I've literally watched like their first one, second one, third one. That brings back great memories.
Yeah.
And then Yu-Gi-Oh was huge.
Did we ever
and
see
then,
the one,
all that
the
stuff?
new one that came out for the Pikachu movie?
The Pikachu
I don't
movie,
think
Detective
I've
seen
Pikachu? No, I didn't see that.
Did that actually even come out? I thought
No,
it was
yeah,
supposed
no,
to come
that
out.
I
came
think it
out.
did,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
Yeah, it
did.
did come out?
Apparently,
All right.
it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I
it's
never
pretty
saw
funny.
that. I forgot all about that. We
I'm
have
gonna
to
check
watch
that
that.
out. Yeah,
That's one we could have to see.
but that's pretty cool, man.
But
Yeah,
that's
but
pretty
that's
interesting.
that's
Some fun things to think
man.
about when you were a kid. You
Yeah,
know?
man, I miss that stuff. You know,
Speaking of shows, I'll make a correction because last week I
Oh,
was
yeah.
talking about
I was
talking
laughing at
about
this.
Peaky Blinders and how I watched 8 episodes. I'm the only one in the entire world who's watched 8 episodes
Of season
of
5.
season 5 because there's only 5.
There's only 5
seasons.
episodes in season 5.
And as I said, again, I'm gonna disclaim that too because it wasn't my fault because my backup brain was doing too many things. and could
Yeah,
not-
that's true.
Oh, yeah,
not,
overloaded. Yeah.
Isn't it funny? It's all deflecting. Deflect,
Yeah, I
That's
just-
what it is.
If you just blame it on somebody else.
Yeah,
so-
you're fine. It's
Yeah,
good.
so
You
it's your
keep going.
fault, Brian. It was
Yeah.
your fault that I said season 8. But they did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they did say 8 seasons. They're both
Yeah.
so shocked.
We were like, wait,
season
8?
It's been on that long. 8 seasons. It had 8 seasons.
Part of me was about
And
to go on and check with.
if
Did I
Joey-
miss 3 episodes? I was like,
Yeah.
no, wait, that's my dad saying it.
Yeah, right.
All right,
Yeah.
no, I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah,
That's a misstep. But
So,
yeah,
So if I say anything wrong this time, I'm heaving it on your shoulders this
there you
week.
go.
All right?
Totally.
Fair enough. Once again.
I've given you fair warning that if I say anything wrong, it's all
Yeah.
on you, man.
Well, you know what it is? You're getting distracted by the glitching hologram. The hologram is glitching
It's
out. And it's
freaking me
freaking
out.
you out.
It's
It's
freaking me
super
out.
distracting.
And
Super
we just had
distracting.
you just caused the power outage.
Yeah,
not
the
too long
freaking
ago.
fuse.
Which is
Yeah.
the fuse literally blew. Hopefully, we'll have that in
He
an
started
outtake.
flickering, and all of a sudden, I
Yeah.
put my headphones on, and everything
Yeah.
went black.
It just, yeah.
I'm trying to, I'm not eco-friendly. I use way too much power. So
He
it's
really
just one of
does.
those
He takes
things.
up way too much power. So we're going to
Yeah,
need
man.
your support. Send us some donations so we can keep the power on for
Yeah.
the Joey's
Yeah,
holiday.
send them right to me. I'll give you my PayPal, and I'll share it. Don't worry, I'm good for it.
And it's double up because we use a hologram of himself, and he has to project
There we
himself
go.
across the table as Brian.
Oh, yeah.
or
It's
tough.
Rob as Brian.
It's too much work.
It's just
too much
too
of a
much
workload.
stuff going on, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of like timeless shit, you know what else is timeless?
Yeah.
Freaking video games.
Yes.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
especially now.
Yeah.
With
yeah.
what do you call it? I know like a lot of games nowadays, they're really just they're flopping.
Yeah.
And I know
That's a
like
good
a
point.
big thing with me is I have an Xbox. I do
Yeah.
not have a PS4.
Right.
MLB The Show is specific for PS4. If you want to play a baseball game on
Yeah.
Xbox,
Yep.
screw you.
You have no-
you have nothing.
I hate
Really, there's
that.
nothing on that.
There's no baseball
nothing,
games for
Wow.
Xbox.
nothing acceptable.
Yeah, not even on
Nothing
PC.
that's
There's
good.
nothing on PC either.
Yeah,
There's
PC.
no PC games for
That's
baseball at
kinda
all.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's
Sony has
just
a
P-
monopoly
it's just
on
P-
it.
It's just PS4.
Yeah,
Oh.
so
Yeah.
MLB The Show, which I
Yeah.
had mentioned, I think, on the podcast once before.
No,
it
we have a couple
literally
times.
is.
Talked
Yeah,
about your super teams.
it's my super team. Oh, right, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, no, it literally, it's. I guess Sony must own the rights to it exclusively,
like that.
and they refuse to make it
Share it.
cross-platform.
Which is
They
smart.
don't- Yeah,
It is smart.
Oh, it's genius because there are people like I said, my friend's dad. He's he's your age. I'm like obviously the same generation.
Yeah.
He plays video games still, but when I say video games, he only plays PlayStation, and he only plays PlayStation because he's a huge baseball fan and he plays MLB The Show. He
Yeah.
literally went out and bought a PS4 Pro last Black Friday just so he could play MLB The Show 19 when it came out.
I'm about to do that. I'm about
Yeah.
to sell my Xbox because
Yeah.
I love baseball games.
Yeah,
So I don't have that.
yeah.
What I do have is a copy of MVP Baseball 2005
Oh
for my GameCube.
God, that's awesome.
I'm not kidding when I say that I have played it every night for the past week.
Do you still
Really?
have GameCube?
I have my Wii.
Oh, okay.
But
so
I do have my
Oh, but you
GameCube.
can do
I don't
that.
know
Yeah,
if it
yeah.
works.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually
so-
that's probably worth some money. You should check that out.
If you
still
can fix
works,
it, if it still
Yeah,
works.
still
Yeah.
works,
Oh,
it's probably worth
no,
some
it's
money.
definitely worth money.
Yeah.
For sure it's
Oh,
worth
wow,
money.
okay.
Yeah,
I
no,
gotta
no,
look that
like
up.
for sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I played that. I started the franchise in 2005. Was
Yeah.
obviously the year that I started the
Right.
Dynasty mode.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm in the year 2028 or 2029.
Really?
There's not a single
So-
real player that exists in the game.
Right.
The player that I created in the
Yeah.
begining of the Dynasty is now 40 years old.
is 40 years
Yes.
old in the game and he's still
and
playing.
I couldn't even re-sign myself because I suck so bad.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
So yeah,
Oh
my team's in
God.
rebuild mode. Wish me luck.
That is so
but
freaking funny,
I had
man.
that idea for the so we talked about shows.
Yeah.
What
why
are
not
some
talk
video
about
games that you guys
games?
still play?
I when you brought that up, I said, "Wow, I could think of like again. It
Yeah.
brings me back to when I."
Well, you played some timeless games. Like you were there
I
when they
was-
invented tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, tic-tac-toe is
and
great.
That was great.
When you
were
have to
like,
do it
you were
with-
like, ooh, and you just started doing like the
and
whole
you push the
in
things
the
around.
ground
The whole
with, like, a
started.
stick.
We were trying to develop
Yeah.
the wheel at that time.
Right.
And we had all different types of shapes, and they kept falling all over.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh,
Yeah.
And then the other guy would
Yeah.
put it there, and then we started to. That's how we started
That was
developing.
the whole
the
and
first
that's when
games. That was-
troubleshooting was invented.
and that was when they invented troubleshooting.
You know, no, but most things are invented by accident, and that's
Yeah.
how tic-tac-toe came about.
Right,
we
that's
were
what
trying
it
to invent
was.
the wheel, and we
Well,
came
that's
up
like
with tic-tac-toe.
well, that was like you invented the wheel and then subsequently invented racing games. You invented the first ever racing game because you were chasing it down a hill. And
Yeah.
Like, oh shit! Hey, this would be a great idea.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, and the first insurance companies started coming out at that time
Yeah.
too, because people get run over by them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
And that's why
Take
you had the
advantage of
caveman,
it.
the caveman,
The caveman
commercial. For
Oh, the Geico! Look at that! Wow, look at
All
you
right.
connecting the dots. You just solving it over
That's
here.
why do you think they had
Because
the
you know, after
caveman?
that
It's
secret
so
hunt that you
easy.
guys did last episode, you're like an investigator now. You're like a
yeah,
detective.
exactly.
I haven't done
There
that.
you
Yeah.
I haven't had time. I've been so busy.
Me neither.
But
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it though, because I keep listening to the last episode, getting some.
I love that
clues.
segment, by the way, Ryan. It was a great segment. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed that. It
Trying
was
to get
cool.
clues from our own
It was
episode.
fun.
But yeah, I thought of like a couple of games that I played when I was a kid, and I used to again sit down in my basement here on my computer, and I think
Yeah.
I had a Packard Bell desktop
Old
computer.
But you know what's funny? You're the one who got me into video games by playing these games.
Yeah,
I
oh,
would
yeah.
watch you play them, and you even let me play a couple of them.
Yeah, sure,
You know?
yeah. And I used to sit here. I used to work a night shift. I'd get home at like 12 o'clock at night. And,
Yeah.
everyone would be upstairs.
Yep.
I'd be smoking my ass off down in the basement,
Yep.
playing my games on the PC, and staying up till like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
and then
man.
having to
I wonder where I
babysit
get
the
it from.
kids when I got up the next. I would like in an hour's sleep, then babysit, and
Yeah.
go back to work.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I used to sit on my computer in the beginning, and a lot of one of the games I used to love to play is a game called Great Naval Battles of the North Atlantic.
Yeah.
And it was a game where you could fight as the British or the German.
Okay.
And it was basically like games like the ships like the Bismarck, the German Bismarck,
cool.
and you would have the Repulse and all the different ships. And the thing that I liked about that particular game is that you can start with you started with a destroyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you would go out and you would fight with the task force against the battleship, and you would, your destroyers would have your torpedoes, and you'd have your small 6-inch guns, whatever, and you try to, defend the battleship. So you'd go out and send a buffer. But the thing that was cool about it, you would shoot your torpedoes to try to take out the thing. But as you got better and you had more, you were successful, you would get promoted.
Like
you'd
in the
get,
game.
Yeah, you'd get
Yeah.
promoted in the game. You'd start off as an ensign, and you'd get promoted to captain, and you get promoted, and you would get new ships, and they would.
Well,
award
see, that's
you with new
so
ships.
it's a progression
And
system.
a
And that's how they
progression
keep
until
you
got up to
coming.
a battleship
Yeah.
game. It was so fun. I
Oh,
would still
hell
play the
yeah.
game today. It was so
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
And you would get up to like the Repulse, and you'd have the ships, and you could pick your ship, and you
Yeah.
work all the way up to admiral of the fleet.
That's
you know?
Yeah.
I don't understand how games today can't have that attention to detail.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
if you could do it back then with
Yeah.
technology now, there's no
100%.
excuses. There's
Yeah.
no
100%.
excuses.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Just
Completely
like
agree.
it was a real good strategy game because it was an
Yeah.
overhead map thing. You'd have your ship, and
Right.
you could steer your ship with the different controls and stuff. And it was a tactical thing, and you would get yourself where you'd want to outflank the other ship, and then shoot your torpedoes in front of it, so it'd have to turn. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the game a lot, and I would play
Yeah.
that game. Immerse myself in that game, and like 4 hours would seem like 5 minutes.
Oh, hell yeah.
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 And another one was when they played, and you guys played today
Yes,
too.
100%.
But
This was the one that I thought of when you know, for you, yeah.
the first ever, I guess. what do you call it?
Civilization.
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 Yeah. And there's been 5 or 6 or 7 now, right?
They are currently, the most recent one was Civilization 6.
6.
And it's
okay.
crazy to think about that because it's been out for like 30 years, like 20,
Yeah.
30 years. It's just
Yeah.
that they put a lot of time and effort into creating their games, and they release a game like once every 5 years or so because they legitimately care. Like
Right,
they
they
put
do.
the attention to detail in that game.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
And
about.
that's the one game. Like a lot of times, you get games where the original's really fun to play, and then
Yeah.
they do a new one. They'll
or
do a
whatever.
sequel, or they'll upgrade the game to a new one, and they'll take away the best parts of the game, and they'll ruin what it is. I used to play a game called Genghis Khan. I still play that today, and you can only play that on a DOS platform.
Like a Windows DOS.
Yeah, so you have to get what is it called, Dropbox or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get
okay.
the old files, and you could drop them into the DOS box, and it will open it up. And
Oh, really?
You play it in the DOS,
like
in
an
the
emulator
DOS.
or whatever
Yeah,
kind
an
of thing.
emulator.
Yeah.
And I still play that. I think I have it on. I think I have it on the computer upstairs. But,
That's awesome.
So it's a fun game, and it's just a basic game. It's nothing big. It's about the conquest of Japan.
Right.
And it.
Genghis Khan was.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of.
He was the pitcher for the Orioles.
He was the pitcher for the Orioles, and he just won.
It's a baseball game.
Didn't he just win Player of the Year?
Cy Young.
He just won the Cy Young Award.
He won the Cy Young Award.
He killed Cy Young and then took the award from him. It was very controversial.
And his whole goal is to conquest all sports.
Yes, exactly. That's it.
And otherwise, so it was really fun, like trying to take over sports. But this was about Genghis Khan. There was actually another Japanese one similar to it that I confused myself with. But Genghis Khan, you start with the clans, and you can basically pick a country. There's any country.
Yeah.
England, France, whatever. The times like in the early 600s or 700s. And you can just build up your... it's still fun. You'd have to see it. If you check out Genghis Khan, it's hard for me to explain everything.
Sounds a lot like Total War.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've actually never played Total War.
It's Total War, but not that much, not that
Yeah.
detailed. It's
Total
basic.
War's been around for a long time. The first one came out like in year, I think in the... I don't even remember, but it's been out for a long time too. They're on 3 or 4 of that one now, I think.
Oh no, more than that.
Oh really?
Yeah, they did Rome, they did medieval,
Oh, I forgot they do that. That's right.
Empire. And Napoleon's my favorite. The AI in that game isn't great, but just
strategy games are fun, man.
If I'm not mistaken, the Genghis Khan game is an Avalon Hill game.
Okay.
I used to play the board games and then the Genghis Khan game. Now I always play the English, and I think the thing that I was trying to get to was that I loved playing the original game. I always used to play as King Richard I in England, and I would start from there, and you build up your king, you train your troops, you build up your arms, you build up your thing, and then you just start attacking other countries, and you have to make sure you keep your health, you have to make sure you keep your family happy, you have to have relations so you can have heirs to the throne in case he dies, and governors to govern the things, and so it was really fun, and it was just great. And then the combat, when you would switch to a combat mode, it was basically just a hexagonal grid board, and you'd have basic either cavalry unit, infantry, archery, and you would set them up in a certain ratio, however you want, and you'd fight.
Okay.
It was very fun, very easy.
Yeah.
And when it went to the second one, they took all of that away and they made it more of a...
They ruined
time.
They ruined the classic nature.
They ruined
the
classic nature of the game, and they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the thing they needed to
right,
fix.
of course.
It was something else.
Well, that's all. First of all, just to get away from the whole classic game thing, all video games do that nowadays, and it's way worse. And I think that was probably when it probably first started.
Right.
Because nowadays that's what games do. Games don't. I feel like a lot of developers. There's not too many developers that actually really care about the quality of the game. And at the end of the day, it's about keeping your player count up. It's about keeping the revenue coming in.
It's a lot more corporate.
It's so much more corporate. The publishers are the ones that I know do tend to kind of force the developers' hands, but there are a lot of developers out there that at the end of the day, I think, I just feel like they don't. They take away the stuff out of the game that they know is going to maybe make the game too easy. For example, one of the game that I play the most is Destiny. It's I've mentioned it on the podcast before multiple times.
Yeah, you played it a lot.
They release updates for that game. What feels like literally every single day, there's an update for the game. And one of the big things of that game is that it's like an RPG game, so you're constantly playing it. Again, it's a progression system, kind of like your Admiral thing, right?
Yeah.
But the minute that something gets too easy in the game, and everybody's doing really well because maybe one gun in the game is very powerful, they'll go ahead and they will look at that. That's pretty cool. That's
can we have a third? We need a third one here.
But anyway, so what they'll do is they'll go ahead and they'll nerf that freaking gun, which is they make it weaker again. And all you've done is make the game harder for people, which forces them to keep playing. They have to keep what's called grinding. That's all it is.
It's grinding to keep you in
the
game.
And
keep buying
becomes
more
a
things
freaking
and
job.
continue.
Yeah.
It becomes a job. Literally becomes a full-time job. And it's like no one wants to do that. that. So.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
no.
Some people
You
do,
spend
but
enough
not
time
many.
playing the game. You don't want to have to. It's almost like losing your place in the game and then having to go all the way back to the checkpoint.
Yes,
in the game.
exactly.
You get so pissed
That's
off.
a good way to put
it's
it.
It's almost like starting over again.
Yes.
The only game that I ever saw that actually progressed pretty well, with the exception of maybe Civilization 2, was Civilization 2. I didn't like. I hated Civilization 2, but I think the Civilization games progressed the correct way.
Yeah, they did.
They're still very good to play as you
they're
go
great
3,
games.
4, 5, and 6. I've played them all, and I think they're all pretty good.
There's not many games that have, sort of maintained their quality over over time, and they've done it over decades. Like, they've maintained their quality over decades.
What's
awesome.
yours, though?
I would say that, honestly, the one game that kind of stands out to me that I definitely go back and I play every now and then, you guys actually kind of mentioned it on the podcast, and it's not really necessarily a game that is super old, but I know that I just love it. You guys mentioned on the podcast last week the Witcher series that's coming out, right?
Okay.
So the Witcher, I didn't
even know
recently.
it was based on a game.
It's actually based on a book series. The games were based on books, but the first Witcher, second Witcher, third Witcher, all three, the whole series might be my favorite gaming series of all time.
From when you were a kid, though? I mean, we're talking about when you were a classic game.
The first game came out from when I was a kid. It's not necessarily. There's really, when I was a kid, I didn't really play like I didn't really start playing video games, like real video games until I was probably like 15.
But if I had to pick a classic one for you, I would say Halo.
Well,
Halo 2
but even Halo, I was like 15 when I started playing that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So like for me, of course, Halo is a classic. Halo 2, those are like, for most people, that's a classic. You can always go back. But in terms of like going back and playing it, to be honest with you, I'm not sure. Like I know, like they're actually releasing the remastered edition of the whole Halo Master Chief collection. So like every single one, Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach, everything.
And if you haven't already seen him, he was on our episode.
That's right.
Halloween,
and he was here. Well,
yeah.
that's what he announced it on our podcast. That's why it was such a big deal.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. But like I would go back and play that, but like a game that
what about the James
I would
Bond
go back and do
007
it.
one?
So that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
So I was gonna say GoldenEye. That's what I was originally gonna say.
GoldenEye, that's the
GoldenEye is
one.
a game that definitely stands out to me. The big game that I would go back and play though, if I had to like go back to my childhood, the big one, and I still play a lot, is Mario Kart Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash. I play that game for hours. I just played it at my friend's bachelor party.
Yeah.
We may have had a couple of alcoholic beverages, and then we played drunk driving Mario Kart. Whatever, just Mario Kart. It's just
it's crazy enough without being drunk. I can't even imagine what it
but
must
that
have been like.
game
They must
to
have
me was
actually
awesome.
must have actually had cops coming to the house.
Yeah, like coming. All right, guys, this is
insurance
getting
companies
ridiculous.
panicking.
FBI, open up!
Nintendo called us. You can't be doing this stuff.
Yeah, this is no. You're.
But that's the one I would definitely say. But the Witcher series to me is one that I just like. I know like for like the future. I'm saying like I know like 20 years from now, I could go back and play the Witcher 3 and still love it and still like think it's just as good and like love.
There
that
was some
stuff
fun
like
games
that.
like the GoldenEye one that we used to play. That was so fun. We used to play that all the time, and it also reminds me of the other one we used to play. We used to fight all the time.
Yeah.
And we'd have our characters and my daughter used
to play.
Soul
Calibur. We used to play the Soul Calibur fighting game.
Was a great game, and I used to have one pirate guy,
and it just pissed everybody
and
off.
I'd piss everybody off
because he's one of those guys who just does the same move over and over again in fighting games.
If it works, you
and
use it.
It.
And it was I had the Epi. It was great, and there was a lot of fun games.
But that's pretty much that, man.
Some of the fun games that we used to play when we were younger were awesome. I enjoyed those things a lot. So
man, I definitely agree.
Speaking of classic games, do we want to continue?
We want to take a little break. We'll take a quick little break right now.
Take a quick break.
So let's take a classic break.
We're gonna take our. We're gonna take one of our classic loosely related breaks. How about that?
Classic loosely related breaks. So
right.
Just because we gave you all that information and now you need
let
to
it sit. Go search those games. Go download all of them.
And play them all, and then we want comments immediately when we get back upon our thing. And so you're going to have to travel back in time in order to do that.
Exactly.
Because we're actually recording 3 days prior to this release. So
anyway,
and then we'll come back. We'll talk about the fun thing we did yesterday with the family.
All right.
All
cool.
right.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye.
And as part of my things to see and do around the Hudson Valley area, we spent the night yesterday, Friday, at Town Crier again, and we saw an act there, and I just wanted to mention them. Love their music. Their name is Amber and Smoke. That's their stage name, Amber and Smoke. Smoke plays electric guitar and sings, and Amber has a beautiful voice. they did a lot of covers of songs last night, and we just enjoyed it. We sat there, and we just were singing and engaging. My daughter was there, and they loved us, and we loved them. I told them I'd mention them on the show today. They're actually going to be playing today at the Angry Orchard.
Angry Orchard, Brian.
Angry Orchard.
Pretty cool, right? Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And we are actually going to go over there today. And Brian, if you like, you can join us if you want to. It's up to you. And probably meet them, take some more footage of their show over there. And they were a lot of. I had a lot of fun last night with them. So yeah, they have their own albums and their own things, and we'll have a graphic of their album cover here. And
do you have a website?
They do have a website.
Name?
So their website is. Could you read that for me?
Yeah,
website
absolutely.
Name
Oh
on
yeah,
that
sure.
part? Because
So
I did meet their manager, and they gave me their card.
Oh, absolutely. So we have Amber and Smoke. They are a California folk and soul duo, and you can.
We'll have
they
those
have their
graphics
email
up
here.
too as well.
I'll say their email. It's Amber and Smoke, all one word, @gmail.com, and their website is www.amberandsmokemusic.com.
Yeah, so they're just flew in. They're in for 7 days, and they're doing a short. I spoke to their manager too. He came up and spoke to us, and he was telling me they're in from California for 7
From
days.
LA, I believe he
From
said.
LA, yeah, LA. And it was funny because when he came over and introduced himself and says, "We're Amber and Smoke."
Yeah.
From LA, I said, "You mean Amber and Smog?"
Amber and Smog.
And he laughed because we were, Smog, LA, whatever.
Yeah, it's bad.
But yeah,
Oh.
so if you hopefully they'll be back and we can see them again out here. But they do have their website. Check out their website. Their videos, beautiful voice. And I wish you guys the best of luck. And so we'll see you later today. So we'd like you to. We're gonna play a little 30-second clip of one of their original songs called "She Don't Know How to Love You." They played it at the Town Crier last night, and it's such a great song. So enjoy the song.
That girl you seem to like a lot surely looks nice. She knows just what to wear to make you stare at her all night. She knows that she's turning every head in the room, but she don't know how to love you. I can tell that her heart, it ain't fixed on you. Tell me, do her kiss screech when you're face through? Together you're the loneliest man in the room. She don't know how to love you.
Hey, welcome back to the show, and I hope you enjoyed that little clip. And I think our next segment is... What is our next segment?
Our next segment is whatever the heck we want it to be.
We could
because
be with
it's a
this is all
loosely
loosely
related
related
podcast. What is
stuff.
with this? First of all, what is with this whole idea of loosely related podcast?
Yeah,
It's about we do segments. So segment 1, 2, 3. No,
Yeah,
listen.
we
You know what
don't-
it is? It's loosely related. If I want to do a segment that's
We'll do
I'm going to
whatever
bring
we
the Hulk in
want.
here. I'm going to sit Bigfoot down. We're going to do Bigfoot segment, and it's going to be watch Bigfoot sits down. He's like, listen, I want to talk about the economic policy. Listen, all right? It's like,
Yeah.
bro, you're Bigfoot. We're obviously talking about the fact that you exist.
Yeah.
No. Listen.
No.
The foreign policy right now in this nation. He's
yeah.
like, listen, I've been wanting to say this for a long time, okay? There's a problem right now in professional sports. It's like,
Yeah, absolutely.
but no, realistically, the other day we were talking, and I was, my dad and I have been wanting to do this podcast for a while. I remember the first couple episodes we have been talking about wanting to do it.
Yeah.
And, we sat down one day, we were like, we said to ourselves, why do we want to get into it? And I always said, one of my dream jobs was
the
always
whole thing
to
was
be able
kind
to.
of because you had a podcast going there for a little while.
Because that was my whole thing. I tried to get a podcast going with a couple of my friends that I play video games with, and it was going to be video gaming.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys can tell I love video games. We were just talking about
Is
it.
that still online, by the way?
It actually still is online. You
Okay.
actually can still find it.
Yeah.
It's on. I think it's actually on Apple Podcasts as well. If you ever
Okay.
want to check it out, we only had 2 episodes, but it's called GFM Podcast.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Greetings from Mercury.
Yeah, GMF.
GFM is what it stands for.
GFM,
But the whole thing was that I wanted to do it. One of my dream jobs was to be able to have some kind of a job like that. I love to talk, and I love talking to people. That's all. I love talking to my friends and my family.
You
and
do
I love
love to
having
talk,
guests
absolutely,
on. I
yeah.
do love to talk and all that. But one of my dream jobs was to work in some kind of entertainment. Like I love movies too. Like my dream job was to work as like a screenwriter. I would have loved to have been able to write the screenplay for a movie and have it get successful, and then maybe if I was crazy good, walk across that stage and get my Oscar or something like that. Right?
Joey's written some things. Like he one of his best things in school was writing. And
I loved English.
He used to love writing, and I always said you should write a book. I know you tried your hand at that. I think a couple of times you started to write some things. You should try that one.
I want to sit back.
It
is definitely hard. I want to sit back down and try to maybe write a book or something like that. But I started to. I got like 10 or 15 pages in. I don't know. You kind of run out of creative juice. But But then again, I also didn't try hard enough. I feel like
you could write a book about loosely related podcasts.
Well, that's what I was going to do.
Loosely based on the loosely
related to the loosely related podcast. That's the title of the book right there.
Loosely related to loosely related podcast.
But the podcast thing was like a dream of mine too. That's why when my dad came to me, he was like, "Listen, I want to, it would be a good idea." And I said, like, "Listen, I would love to do a podcast." Like, and then a dream job, like, we do it for fun, but of course it'd be like my dream if this somehow did blow up one day and we became huge about it.
I think it would be awesome.
Yeah,
I think it would be really
exactly. Awesome. But then it got me thinking, like
we could actually pay Brian.
Then we could actually. Well, maybe we'll see.
It's debatable.
Pay Brian in like candy bars, which I think he'd like. That'd be fine.
And
right?
once we
Can I pay you in gum?
Can I pay you in gum?
Of course you could pay me in gum.
Well, I don't have to get paid in gum. I love that commercial.
And maybe once we start actually paying him with real money rather than just food and water and stuff while he's changing in his basement,
a pee bucket.
We could actually let him go.
Larry, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. That's a show decision, all right? Letting Brian go is a podcast decision.
We have to
Rob is not here
during our weekly meetings and figure that one out.
Yeah. But the whole thing kind of got me thinking about, everybody definitely has that dream job, and I know a lot of people are lucky enough to be working in their dream job, and that's great. And I know Brian, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of go around and talk about what do you guys feel like? What is your dream job? Like if you already have your dream job or you're already working in that field, what do you love about that field that makes it your dream job and stuff like that. So I mean, like Brian, I know you are film major, you went to school for film, and you're literally you just got your internship. By the way, congrats on your internship. Brian just got an internship working in.
They're gonna be watching this probably too.
Oh, cool.
They know about the podcast.
That's awesome.
Well,
great.
Hi guys.
He's good, man. He's really
great.
good.
He's great.
You can see how well our show, how different our show is. From
exponentially.
Episode 12 or 13, I think he joined us on. Right?
It was 8.
8, yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't that early, so you can
crazy?
see how we progressed. We first started off, and then he helped us out a lot with the producing stuff. So
Hell yeah.
So
really good addition to the show. So.
But so obviously you're working. I mean, in your dream job, Brian, right? I mean, I feel like, right? I mean,
for the most part.
Yeah.
For me, it's always been about.
You didn't want to be a zookeeper. I thought you wanted to be a zookeeper prior.
He wanted to be in the movie The Zookeeper.
Yeah.
He wanted to play the gorilla that was Kevin James' best friend in the movie.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But I know for this career, oh my gosh, when I was I don't know how old I was, anywhere from 7 to 11 years old.
Yeah.
When the freaking Harry Potter movies came out, I would sit in a theater and just imagine myself in the world of Harry Potter.
Wow.
And I guess doing stuff like that, I wanted to recreate that.
I can see that for Brian, because you were really into.
Yeah, I wanted to recreate that for kids when I was older.
Yeah,
just that whole experience, the amount of immersion I had, and
you were in Quidditch, man. You were a Quidditch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it came true.
You basically lived it. Legit.
You were a Quidditch athlete.
Yeah.
How many people can you say I know a Quidditch athlete?
Yeah. Everyone I know.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like movies have a lot of power nowadays with no censorship, and you can really just kind of reach audiences with your messages and these worlds that you have in your head that come true. It's really amazing.
Right? Yeah.
And it comes from your mom too, because your mom has that kind of that she has that mindset sort of where she can think of things. She's a creative mind, I think.
Yeah.
She thinks of things that people don't think of sometimes.
Right.
I think you're kind of the same thing. I think that you present those same type of things.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So Brian, what within what you do, what would be your dream if so you already have your dream career more or less.
Okay,
what would be your dream your the end result that would make you you live out your dream in the film industry?
Yeah. So for me, it would be I write a script.
Yeah.
And partner with a couple other people, and we make that happen.
Oh wow.
Netflix, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, definitely.
But, submit to Netflix.
Oh my
Netflix
God.
will make anything nowadays.
Oh my God, yeah.
They'll make anything a movie.
Jesus, yeah. So I do have 2 screenplays written.
Really? Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're ready yet,
Yeah.
and they're also like they would be really expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, if either one of those could get made, oh my god,
That's awesome. Yeah, man.
yeah.
That
Well,
would
that's
be
pretty cool. So
terrific.
we have a pretty similar,
Should I-
and
Should I like give you an
result.
idea of what they are?
Yes, absolutely,
so,
for sure.
One of them is basically I took inspiration from kind of like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, but I was
Okay.
like, what if I made this like, like in Star Wars, how it's like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
There was something called Pangea.
Okay.
You probably learned about in
Yes,
social studies
yes,
when
yes.
all of the land on Earth was one.
Was one.
It's
giant landmass.
basically a long time ago on Earth. There existed a period of time where it was basically a medieval type of thing,
Yeah.
but it wasn't medieval combat. It was kind of like Civil War era combat.
Oh,
so
wow,
they had
okay.
muskets, but
Oh,
it behaved
wow.
a lot like a feudal system.
Oh,
Right.
no shit.
And so I have these. There's like I think I had 4K. It's called Kalazar.
Yeah, Kalazar. Okay.
And it's about the line of Kalazar going to shambles,
Wow.
and the Southern Kingdom basically creating a civil war.
Wow.
And I don't know if you know a lot about Spain and the Reconquista.
No,
But
not really.
okay, so with the Reconquista,
Yeah.
I don't know too much about it, but I know
Yeah.
that it was I think the Moors and then the Spanish.
Okay.
The Spanish were pushed into a corner in the north
Yeah.
and ended up fighting back and conquering all of Spain back.
Right. Right.
And so the second, I haven't written part 2, but part
Okay.
2 is the Northern Kingdom being pushed up to this isolated fortress,
Yeah.
and them reconquering the rest of the thing and
Okay.
returning the line to like a new age of stuff.
No shit.
So that's the first one I've ever wrote.
Ryan, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. That's incredible. That's like great, man. I would love to be able to someday have that. You're using your using your text to talk there, huh? You're gonna use that text to talk. Let's see.
Wikipedia. The Reconquista was the period in the history of the Iberian Peninsula of about 780 years between the Umayyad conquest of Hispania in 711 and the fall of the Nasra Kingdom of Granada to the expanding Christian kingdoms in 1492.
So that was like I literally I only
I
understood
understood
about
anything.
3 words about what
Yeah.
she just
It's
said.
okay. It's okay.
That was
she explained
hugely-
it for you guys.
She did it. Now you get it.
Yeah, you understand.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So that's a little bit of my dream job.
That's
but yeah.
dude, Brian. That is freaking awesome. And then, Dad, I know like I kind of know like one of your kind of like dream jobs that you had when you were like a kid and all that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what exactly? Well,
probably one of my dream jobs would be an actor in the porn industry. No.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Well,
Wait a
listen.
second.
That wasn't the one that I was thinking
No,
of, but
I didn't
okay.
think you were thinking of that one.
No.
But no. Okay, no. In the 80s especially.
And oh yeah, for sure.
70s
Yes,
or
right around the
80s.
HIV epidemic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. There we go. That's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was the height of the porn industry. There we go.
Yeah. My dream job, there's multiple ones I'd love to have, but all right, I'm going to just basically say my dream job is a job that I don't mind going to every day, basically.
Right.
All right, so
Yeah.
that's everybody's dream job.
Sure.
It's going to a job that you enjoy going to. You don't get and say, "Oh my God, I got to go to work again."
Sure.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
Sunday
and I've
night,
had
you're like,
jobs-
oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Monday again. I wish it wasn't Monday.
Yep.
You want to have a job. If you get up and you don't mind getting up and going to your job, which I have now, I enjoy my job.
Yeah, you
that I
do,
have
you do.
now. I
You
enjoy
really
going
do.
to my job. The worst part of my job, basically, is getting out of bed because it's so early. in
It
the
is
morning.
early. You get
That's
up
the worst,
early.
and maybe
Yeah.
the drive there because it's almost.
It is a
an
long
hour
drive.
but that gives me time to think about things and whatnot. But
And listen to the Lucid Related podcast.
Listen to
Yeah,
the Lucid
basically.
Related.
There we go. Which is which you can find us at our website.
Yeah, exactly. So one of my dream. It's not really so much a job. There's a couple of them I'm going to mention, but it's not so much a job. It was
Right.
a dream of mine
Yeah.
that if I could go back in time, I would take up tennis and become a tennis star. That would be
Yeah. Well, that's a career. That's a tennis
a
career.
I
Yeah.
would
There
love
you go.
to have played against Yvonne Lendl, and that would have been my
Bjorn
day.
Borg, right? That was
Well, he might have been a little bit
Right.
behind. He might
Right.
have been
Well, then,
right around the edge of.
or right around like it was like Moses,
Moses,
Achilles,
yeah,
Hector,
yeah.
Caesar, Emperor Caesar.
Yeah, a little
those
bit
guys.
in those days. But
Well, Caesar had a good serve. From what I understand, he had a
Caesar
pretty
wasn't
solid
bad
serve.
until,
He did have a
of
backhand,
course,
though.
No, his backhand was missing there, so then you might have beaten him.
Yeah, he beat Brutus, and
Yeah, and that was pretty
and
much
that's
it.
what
And that's what
happened.
Brutus couldn't handle it.
He
Couldn't handle the
slit
loss,
his
and he
throat.
killed him. There you go. You
Slit
figured it
his
out,
throat.
Dad. That's what it was.
That's the real history of Caesar and Brutus. Okay, it wasn't
Yeah.
about power. It
was
tennis
about tennis game. He was angry. He was a sore loser.
Yeah, so I would have been playing, I think, on John McEnroe era.
But you would have been John McEnroe, beyond
Yvonne Lendl,
Yvonne
maybe
Lendl.
even,
What is was it
Connor?
Jimmy Connor. Jimmy Connor.
I think that era. So if I was a professional tennis player, it would have been during that era.
Yeah,
which would have been
that's like one of the heights of tennis.
Those guys
for
would
sure.
have been scared to shit at me if
they
I was
would have been
playing tennis.
terrified of
They would have
him
been,
for sure.
you know,
Yeah.
But that would have been my dream thing.
I believe it.
And what another thing I always wanted to be, and I always dreamed of being, was an astronaut.
Yes, that's the one that I remember. That's the one.
I would have loved to have been an astronaut.
Yeah, definitely.
Or a fighter pilot, one of those.
Fighter pilot, you always talk about too.
Yeah.
But the astronaut thing from when I was a kid, because the thing is, like you legitimately, like people always say, oh, I'd like to be an astronaut. Like you legitimately, like you loved it. Like you have a legitimate like fascination with like
the universe,
astronomy
the
and
astronomy,
cosmology. Cosmology, right? Is
and I know
right?
Rob made fun of me saying cosmology in one of the episodes.
He did.
Cosmologist? You want to be you want to do makeup?
No, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a cosmologist. Yeah.
I'm getting more into it now too.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I love it. It's not cosmetology. It's
that's
cosmology.
Cosmology.
It's
Just talk.
It's the study
Go
of
ask
the
Neil deGrasse
moon
Tyson.
And the stars in the universe. And
Yeah.
all that stuff. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, but you were always. I mean, when I was a kid, you just talked about you loved it.
Astrophysics.
Astrophysics.
Stuff like that. I would love that. I love.
And
science.
You've always watched Carl Sagan.
Carl
right?
Sagan. I love
Carl
his
Sagan
shows.
series.
Yeah,
you loved that. Yeah.
And he actually Neil deGrasse Tyson had his show, which was
right.
a follow up on the Cosmos. He did.
Oh,
Cosmos
right.
too.
Right. Yes.
And I watched that entire.
Yeah,
thing.
you did. Yeah.
So that would probably those two things would probably be my dream job.
I believe it, man. 100%. I believe it for you. Yeah.
But you said we could time travel.
Time travel,
or
we
was that
do
only
have.
you? Did we just clarify it was only Rob?
It's only like forward in time, and it's only in relation to the loosely related podcast.
Yeah.
Oh.
So unless all four of us want to be astronauts, we could shoot our next episode in space and time travel into the future. All right.
Let's
Yes.
do that.
Next episode, we're going to be hovering somewhere around one of the moons of Saturn. So
I forgot to include that in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll
do it now.
We'll throw up a picture of Saturn from where we are. That's it, and then
we'll go to Titan. Titan's got water.
Titan's got water. We're fine.
Underneath the ice.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Kind of like
stuff
here.
they're finding
It's
out.
kind of like how we feel right now in the
Yeah.
basement. It's like being under the ice.
Yeah, right. This is super off topic, but did you hear about the New Horizons mission?
No.
To Pluto.
Yeah,
They
I think I
sent
did.
something to Pluto and got photos of Pluto.
Really?
And they felt bad because like, oh my god, we've been like shitting on Pluto,
Yeah.
and it's actually really interesting.
Really?
Oh, is it? Yeah?
No
Yeah.
shit.
Now it's
What?
called a
That's
planet.
awesome.
It's not considered a planet.
It's a dwarf planet.
It's a dwarf
or
planet,
a
right?
planetoid. I think they call it.
Planetoid, whatever the
Yeah.
hell. Okay.
They actually took it out of the planet classification.
Classification, right? Yeah.
But didn't they discover something else? I thought they discovered
Planet
like
9?
Planet 9 or Planet 10. There was something
They think
smaller.
that there's a ninth planet because of how the orbits work
Yeah,
going around the
something like
sun.
that.
Like they're not like the ellipse that they take isn't natural. Like something should be disrupting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're saying that Planet 9 has an orbit of like 10,000 years.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
some people are saying maybe it's a black hole.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. That's. I think they were
okay.
talking about a black
yeah,
hole.
you
or
were
something
talking about
like
that. Yeah. Okay, that makes
I
sense.
love that stuff. I can
Yeah,
watch
same
those
here.
stuff.
You-
I
yeah.
love
Oh,
this
really,
one
Brian?
with
That's awesome.
that.
I didn't know that.
I should
that's
show you a
awesome.
couple of YouTube channels that are pretty interesting.
Because
Yeah.
I had mentioned in one of the episodes about how they just recently found a planet or I think it was a planet.
It was a planet, yeah,
And
that had
Like
that-
exoplanets.
They said
and-
that this planet was like 15 or 18 billion years old, and
Was that the one that was supposedly like they were like,
Older
wait, this
than-
is older than the universe?
older than they
yeah.
know
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
know of the universe,
Right.
which flies in the face of the whole Big Bang theory.
Yeah.
right.
So that was like you don't
Which
hear
is
much
like
about
you
it,
know,
but
which I think is in its last season anyway. I think it's in its last season on CBS.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Bang
The
Theory,
the
yeah.
Big Bang Theory is in its last
it
season on
flies
CBS.
in the face
yeah.
because they tried to do a whole episode based on that planet.
Exactly, and it's just like,
oh,
oh, it's so stupid.
But
and,
yeah.
and they're like, oh, you know what? This show was never funny to begin with.
yeah, so
Yeah,
forget it.
basically.
And
We're
that
just
was
gonna
it.
bring it back to what it actually means. But the thing is that there was two different trains of thought in the scientific thing, and the
Yeah.
Big Bang Theory came out. One guy had a theory, but then there was another guy who was a big scientist back in the day. I don't remember his name, but his train of thought prior to the Big Bang was called the continuous motion theory or something like that, and that's that the universe always existed,
Right.
and didn't have a beginning or an end. It's always existed, which is kind of interesting. So
Yeah.
you know.
But anyway, back to so. Just,
not to bore you with all the science.
Yeah,
but I
tell
just
you.
like to-
Oh,
we
believe
got
me,
there.
no, it's
but this is
okay.
all about the podcast. We're all over the place anyway. Who
Listen,
cares?
that's the whole podcast, and then and if
Yeah.
listen, if I need to be resuscitated after listening to the Big Bang Theory, it's all good. It all happens. I was never a science person. I was never a science guy. No, I've said before, I was never a science person. Not that I don't find that stuff fascinating. I of course do, but I was always I was more of like a numbers guy. That's why I'm an accountant.
You're
kind
a
of
left
thing.
brain
But anyway,
guy.
I'm a left brain guy.
Right.
I'm a I'm
Left
a
brain, right
type
brain?
C personality. I'm a freaking I don't know. I'm a crunch bar.
Yeah.
But the other, so this, as far as the whole jobs thing, the other thing too that I just wanted to kind of say is these are like dream jobs, but there's also a lot of jobs out there that I completely respect, and I completely have the I wish that I could do it myself. I know that I can't do it for whatever reason. It's not in my wheelhouse. It's not my personality type. I'm never going to be that person.
Right.
Maybe I wish that I could, but it's just not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Personally, I have a real admiration, a deep admiration and a lot of respect for the members of our special forces.
Right.
I mean, our military in general.
Yeah.
Just our military. My friend Kev was a Marine. He was already one of my best friends, and it's just I always, the guy was always my good friend, but it's just, so I have that respect. But when he became a Marine, sounds weird to say, but I got even more respect for him even more after that,
It's not easy to do that.
Yeah.
It's rough, man.
But you watch documentaries on special forces in particular, and it's like the Navy SEALs and Delta and the Army Rangers, and it's you watch a lot of those movies, but then you watch documentaries about these guys, and I literally am fascinated by their lifestyle and their personalities and what makes them who they are. Yeah. I could never see myself doing it,
right?
But maybe in another life, if I was born a different person or something like that, I could see myself going that route.
Sure.
And maybe going into that.
What about things like I know you had mentioned one time about the guys who work on the big oil rigs out in the
the oil rigs?
Yes.
Well, first of all, they make good money.
Yeah, they make really good money,
it's an interesting job, but
it's
it's super high risk.
Yeah.
And I mean the Deepwater Horizon incident, obviously.
You have to have a lot of respect for those kinds of jobs. Or I was thinking fire jumpers.
Oh, what's a fire jumper? No, I don't even know what that is.
That big fires out in California just recently.
Oh, the forest fires.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, okay.
They parachute in and then. Is that what a fire jumper is?
Yeah, they fight the fire from within. They go in there and they try to break fire lines to try to cut the fires off.
Right. Yep.
Or they work by remember the movie Ghost?
Yes.
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 Not Ghost. The
always,
movie
always.
That was about fire jumpers.
But there's
John
another
Goodman
movie.
And,
No, it's great. There's another movie called Only the Brave, and it's
literally
the true
about
story. It's a true story about the 18 firefighters that died.
in
the one California fire.
It
is I cried during the movie. I cried during it. It's super. It's so.
Only
it's
the Brave?
such a good movie. Only the Brave. Great movie. You should go watch it. It's a great. The cast is unbelievable, and it was so under the radar. It's such a good freaking movie, and the ending is so it pulls on your heartstrings, man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just pulls on your
that
heartstrings.
must be rough, but you got to have a lot of respect for those kind of guys.
Yeah,
the guys
dude,
flying in over the
that's
fires,
a great one,
dropping
man.
the
So
water.
is that yours or?
As far as the jobs,
maybe
that I respect,
in a different
absolutely.
life, do you think maybe
I
could
think
you see yourself maybe
it's definitely
doing
an
that?
adventurous job,
Yeah, right. I guess
it would be an
that's
adventure. I would definitely call it the height of an adventurous.
What about
job.
something I think that you would be interested in a different life, those the deep sea divers, beekeeping. That's it. Yep, beekeeping. Killer bee, killer beekeeping.
Yes.
Yep, that and also tree sap collection.
Tree sap collection.
There we go. It's a good one.
Florist.
Yeah, florist. Definitely florist. Dangerous job.
But you never know what you're going to find in those flowers.
In those flowers,
yep.
Well, that's where you learn to beekeep.
Yes,
all the bees.
Pretty much.
What I was gonna say was the deep sea divers, the guys that I mean whether you're doing it with sharks or you're doing it with deep sea diving, where you have to have a rope and all that.
Another movie that I just saw. It's about a true story about guy. What was it? They were deep sea divers, and they do the oil riggings again.
Right.
And they go down and they check the.
Oh, that was on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's a Netflix documentary.
They go down and check the drill sites to see, and they're with bell helmets.
Yeah.
They have a unit that goes like a submersible submarine kind of thing that goes down a certain amount, and then these guys are inside of that, and then they jump out of that almost like fire jumpers.
Yeah.
And they go down another, I don't know, thousands more
feet.
Right. Down to where the oil rig was. And then there was a problem. This one guy got trapped down in there.
Oh, no, really?
But he survived.
That was a documentary. Yeah,
he actually survived.
Good.
He was down there for 37 minutes without air.
Crazy, man.
And they ended up, it was, it was the ship above, and there was a storm, and it ripped everything apart.
Oh, wow, really?
I wish I remember the name of it. We have to look that up.
Yeah, look that up.
But yeah, that's a really crazy job. Those guys that do those really deep sea diving things.
Right.
And if something goes wrong, you're in. It's almost like being
100%.
on the moon. You might as well
right.
be on the moon.
You might as well be on the moon. They can't get to you. They literally can't get to you.
And that one story was how it was a miracle that the guy survived it.
What about you, Brian? You got like any jobs out there that you wish you could do almost, but like you probably know you probably just can't do? Like
yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah.
So the first one, it was the one you mentioned.
Yeah.
So actually, hold on.
You're gonna pull up that.
Yeah,
movie
I'm trying
things?
to.
Yeah, Brian's got both. Listen, man, he's trying to do
doing both
hosting,
things.
and he's the backup rank.
No, I'm
His
trying
dad
to-
can't remember the movie
I'm trying
name,
to find
of
the
course.
diver, and it says.
Oh, okay.
I'll let this load.
Yeah.
But so what's it called? There's one. It's you mentioned it. It's what do you call it? The astronaut thing.
Oh yeah.
I would love to be able to explore other planets and go into space, but I don't even like to fly on a
deep
plane.
space. Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah, no, I can't even do that. So there's
wow.
just no way I'd be able to go into space and not like be an anxious mess.
Sure.
And then to couple on that is rock climbing.
Oh,
I actually
okay.
I
Good one.
purchased a hangboard a little while ago.
Nice.
After I saw Matt's.
Yeah, you saw Matt's, right?
And I've been using that. Last Breath, the true driver.
Oh, Last Breath.
This is what this says. The true diver who cheated death.
Okay.
True story of that, but it's not telling me the name.
Okay.
Chris Lemons.
Was that the guy, Daddy? He's saying
not sure.
Immersion
not
diver.
Sure. Immersion diver.
Okay, so it might have been Chris Lemons.
Okay.
And then so for rock climbing, funny enough, we talked about Disney Plus. On Disney Plus was a
Free
documentary.
Solo.
Yes.
Yes.
I've
Free
been
Solo,
wanting
yeah.
to
My dad
see
and I-
Free Solo
Dude,
for
It's
so
on
long.
Disney.
My dad
It's on
and I
Disney.
bought
It's
that.
on, you just mentioned it's on Disney Plus.
It's on
and
Disney
it is
Plus.
Definitely worth seeing.
It won best documentary feature. I don't know if you knew that, Brian. Yeah, no, it did. My dad and I bought that because my dad and I are super into like the rock climb. We don't climb ourselves. We used to, but we just love the whole culture of it. Like we've watched so many Everest documentaries and stuff like that. And
the rock climb was basically the rock in the backyard. We just climb up the rock.
We did go to Lake Minnewaska a few times, though.
We
did climb there
We
a few
did climb a
times.
couple little rocks, but not free solo type stuff.
No, definitely not that guy.
I've done indoor stuff a little bit. I like it, but just I just wouldn't be able to deal with the heights.
Yeah.
Maybe I would never be able to free solo.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't happen. I would freak out and fall.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I might want to do like some short, easy ones.
Okay.
As long as I'm harnessed up, maybe I can.
Yeah. Oh
yeah, man, for sure.
But I could never do it professionally. There's no freaking way.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that's a great pick.
No, it is.
Yeah, man. Well, it's funny. Like, it's all kind of hard. But the one thing that, of course, I would love to be able to do, but now I
know what it is too. It's
what is it?
Carnival.
A carny. I want to be a carny. I want to be a carny. A carnival barker.
Yeah.
I wanna be a carnival barker. Hey, come on over here. Get the carnival over here.
Carnival over here. We got.
I got your very popcorn. You got the hot dogs on a stick.
Popcorn, candy corner. Take it. Go.
No. I wanted to do this job, and it was a dream job, but I will never do it again. I will never, ever want to do it, and then no one can pay me. There's not enough money in the world to do it after what happened on Thursday night. I always had a dream. I played football in high school, and I always wanted to be a quarterback. I always wanted to play quarterback in the NFL, but I got to be honest with you, it's no longer my dream after freaking Myles Garrett just literally hit Mason Rudolph, the quarterback for the Steelers, on the head with his own freaking helmet.
That he just ripped off his head.
Yeah.
Talk about a career that is now it was already scary enough being a quarterback in the NFL getting wrecked.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, by the way, you might get tackled, but also make sure when you get up that no one's swinging helmets at you so you don't have to duck and dodge helmets.
Yeah, they're going to have to instate a new new rule in football about swinging helmets.
You can only hit him one time.
He touched his helmet in the course while he was near a quarterback. 5-yard penalty, first down.
What do you mean? We were online at 7-Eleven. Nope, sorry, you can't get near him. But yeah, did you guys see that shit?
Well, yeah.
Oh my God!
I did. Well, I was watching it was the Steelers Browns. It was Pittsburgh Steelers.
I wanted
Browns
to see the game. I should have watched it live. But
Yes.
I watched the first half of the game.
So did I.
Nothing
big happened. It was like a 7
Sunday night.
Yeah, no, Thursday night.
Thursday.
No,
It was
just
Thursday
this past
night. Just
Thursday.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got back up Thursday night and I wasn't feeling too good. But anyway, I saw Joey. He was up and he's like, "Did you see that play from the game tonight? Did you watch the game?" I'm like, "Oh, nah." And he showed me the clip for what happened, and it was insane. So if you haven't seen it, man, it was insane.
We'll try to put it up. I don't know if the NFL will pull it because
Yeah.
they're trying to freaking pretend it never happened
hold on.
and sweep it under the rug.
Let's analyze it. So
Yeah.
basically, what you have
Right.
is Mason Rudolph.
Right.
I guess Myles Garrett. He tackles him.
He tackled
it was
him
after a pass.
after a pass.
He
and
threw
it's like a normal tackle.
Completed the pass too. and everything,
Yeah, well, completed the pass. It was a normal
Never.
tackle, right? It
Yeah,
just went clean.
I mean, so
No, it wasn't really a normal play.
I wouldn't say it was clean. So I think what had happened was so he tackles him and he kind of like after the quarterback throws the ball, you can't really like pull him to the ground.
Right.
Myles Garrett pulled him to the ground,
All right.
and then he kind of didn't let go right away.
Right, he
kind of put him in a bear hug and pulled him down to the ground. And he
Yeah.
kind of you would think immediately you just kind of let go and that's it. He didn't really do that. So I think the idea
him
was
in an
that
awkward position
Mason Rudolph
and-
gets pissed.
Yeah.
Which
You know,
rightfully so.
And there was 8 seconds in the game left. 8 seconds in the game.
Yeah.
The game was almost over.
Oh, wow.
And so Mason Rudolph is pissed off. So he reaches and Mason Rudolph looks like he's trying to get Myles Garrett's helmet off, but they're on the ground, sort of tussling
Yeah,
a little
something.
bit. And then the Steelers offensive linemen come over and they lift them up and they're
Yeah.
breaking it up, but they're not really breaking it up because Mason Rudolph is like grabbing at
Yeah.
Myles Garrett,
and
but
he
then
has
Myles
he
Garrett.
has a hold of his face.
I'm
mask.
sorry. Myles Garrett is grabbing at Mason Rudolph, and he has him by the helmet. He has him by the face mask of his
Yeah.
helmet,
Yeah.
and he's tearing at the helmet while it's on Mason Rudolph's head.
It's
He's
a
tearing
calculated
at Mason Rudolph's
decision.
head, calculated
Jerking.
decision,
Yeah.
and then he just pulls it. And I think Mason Rudolph actually reached up and unbuckled it because at one point you can kind of see he kind of like does this
was
because the guy's
probably
like
hurt,
tagging
yeah.
on it. It probably was like about to snap his neck.
Yeah, right.
So I think he actually reached up and unbuckled his helmet, and then because all of a sudden it just like comes free right
Yeah.
away, like real quick.
Okay.
So then Myles Garrett is there, and there's an offensive lineman
Two of
in
them.
between Myles Garrett
Yeah.
and Mason Rudolph, and Mason Rudolph is still, he's pissed now, so he's like
He's yelling at
he's
him, yeah.
jawing over the shoulder of his offensive lineman at Myles Garrett,
Right.
and Myles Garrett
Turns
takes
around.
with his right hand the helmet
He just took
and
off
just
of Mason
straight up
Rudolph's head.
like does like a club and just over
Smacks
the
it right
top
down.
freaking haymaker. Smacks Mason Rudolph
The
right on
open
the
side
top
of
of
the
his
helmet,
head,
which
the open
could have
side
cut
of the
his
helmet,
head
which
open.
could have cut his head
Could
open.
have cut his head
Yeah.
open.
For
I'm
sure.
surprised
Which
it
luckily
didn't.
he immediately right after that was just like, come on, and he was
Immediately he got
And then-
hit. I don't know how he was fine.
Was he out or
No.
No, he just
Okay.
turned around and was like, "What's going on?" And then
Yeah.
the 2 offensive linemen, especially Pouncey, jumped on this guy and
Oh, the
started
Steelers.
kicking him. Pouncey especially
Of
was
course.
kicking him and punching him, which I'm glad he did. I wish he had kicked him and punched him more.
I'd never
now,
seen anything
now
like
Pouncey,
it.
I think, is getting a suspension.
He's
for
getting
3 or 4 games.
He's getting a 3-game suspension.
And in NFL, you're wrong for doing that. He was
Well,
protecting his
I mean, no matter
quarterback.
what-
I don't care. In this case,
I
I
know
don't
what
care
you're
because
saying. I get
the
it,
guy
but-
deserved it. He deserved it.
Well-
All right, maybe Pouncey could have controlled himself a little bit, but
I know what you're saying.
But, like,
he
it's
should have got off with a
Honestly,
warning,
one
especially
game.
after Garrett
Yeah.
has already done this multiple
Right.
times in the game and has had
So
nothing
that's the other
happen to
thing
him.
too.
So
This season, he's had it was so like all the announcers were like literally shocked. There's been incidents in the NFL. Everyone knows all the famous incidents where there's been fights. No one has ever seen anything like this. It's such a big deal that Myles Garrett's attorney literally said we are pursuing all legal action outside of NFL
do what?
proceedings to sue him. No, like to sue him for assault.
Oh,
Like I'm saying,
you mean
no?
you said
Mason Rudolph's attorney.
Oh,
Okay.
Mason Rudolph. Okay.
Is
I got
literally
confused.
in the process.
No, he should,
of,
and I hope you
of
do.
like with his lawyer pursuing actual legal action outside of the NFL.
Right
Like,
now, I spoke
like
to
assault.
a little bit to
my
Kristen.
brother's girlfriend
yeah,
is
she's in law school.
right now.
And she said that was above and beyond. Like you can't sue
Yeah.
for like fights in
No.
like, sports
It-
because they're
it's
expected as part of the
assumed.
sport.
Right, that's what you're
But
saying.
in this particular case, he has a definite case for
Yeah.
something that's gone beyond what's reasonable.
Yeah, exactly.
In a situation like that,
For sure,
Because
man.
that's not contact in the game. You pulled
Yeah.
the guy's helmet off and smacked him in the
Right.
head with
With
it
it, yeah.
Exactly.
after the
After
play.
the
on
play,
national television,
on
in
national
front of everybody
television.
to see.
100 million witnesses. I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah,
So he's-
and he should
Yeah.
never be allowed to come back to football.
So just to clarify, so the end result of
Yeah.
that, so he is now suspended indefinitely.
Right.
It is like only like the second time I think in NFL history they ever had to do that. They have not given him a date, and it might even be the first time they've ever had to do that. They've given out long suspensions before for like incidents, but this particular thing is as a disciplinary action, he's literally suspended indefinitely,
And
and there is a
didn't-
legitimate chance he may never play again.
Didn't you mention to me that he's already had multiple suspensions?
So
longer
he has had.
suspensions? So it's, this is not the first.
No,
time.
he himself. I was talking about a different
A different guy.
Vontez Burfict?
Yeah, Vontez
Oh, yeah,
Burfict
yeah.
had that. But Myles Garrett has had other incidents this season.
Yeah.
That he did things that he got in trouble for. I
He
think
stepped on somebody's
He like stepped
head
on someone or
with
something
his
like that. He
cleats.
got
I
into a
remember that, on
fight
his
with
hand.
someone. He pushed somebody.
Yeah.
So that was So there's been a lot of shit. But it's just like I saw that and I was like, my God. Even the announcers
That is
like
definitely
Joe
to me
Buck,
a
like
sign
Joe
of
Buck,
an unstable person who should not be playing this game.
Well, like Joe Buck, who's been announcing for the NFL for decades and decades, was like, that is the worst thing I've ever seen on a football field.
Yeah.
That's literally what he said.
Most people can say that.
Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that real quick because that's no longer my dream job. Basically, now that went out the window.
No.
That went out the window with all of Mason Rudolph's brain cells.
Yeah,
my dream to be an NFL quarterback went out the window.
The scary thing about that is that Mason Rudolph's had that thing where I went down and looked like he almost got paralyzed.
He was knocked unconscious.
That was scary.
That was a really scary moment.
And then on top of that, so he's getting smacked in the head.
Yeah, and then don't forget, and then the Browns, another Browns player comes up from behind him after he just got smashed on the head and just straight up
shoves him. Yeah.
Like shoves him with all his force, and he goes flying.
Which is like your team was not right.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, man, but
so that's bad for the Browns who are trying to rebuild right now.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So I mean, it's just sports has a lot of those problems like that. Like there's all the shit going on right now with the Astros. The Astros had that whole thing with the cheating scandal.
Yeah, that's huge.
And it's like, how do you enjoy? Like we talk about in sports is getting hard to enjoy because of the corporations and the prices. But then you have these cheating issues, these unsportsmanlike issues, and
we wanted to talk about that.
We wanted to discuss the Astros thing. It's just like now baseball's having this.
Yeah. So
what else is new?
There was 4 sources, but the big one was confirmed was a pitcher that played with them. The 2017 team.
Oh,
his name's Mike Fiers. He's I think like 34. He's kind of known for his weird facial hair. He pitches on the Athletics now.
Yeah.
But he has thrown 2 no-hitters. He's a pretty decent pitcher.
Yeah.
He came out and actually said that they have like done like cheating. There was a system where like he knew of where I think it was said 2 uniformed people at least 2 uniformed people had figured out a system to like bang on a trash can.
Yeah.
And so the banging would correspond with off-speed pitches.
Off-speed, like change-ups.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Mike Fiers was like, yeah, I've been telling teams that like I was on that like this stuff happens, watch out for it because he's like he made a really good point. There's guys who are losing jobs.
Yeah, literally.
They're getting demoted because they come in and they play the Astros. And they flop because they're figuring out, the signs and everything
100%.
with like electronically cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, I'm making them aware because like, people are losing jobs.
It's
and
insane, man.
It's bad. It's affecting people's careers if it is
really
true.
If it is true.
Did the Astros make it to in that
the Astros lost in the World Series.
To the Nationals.
This year, I know that, but in 2017 was supposed to cheated thing.
2017, I believe they won. That was the year that they
won
the
the World
Yankees in the ALCS again. They went to the World Series.
So
they won the World Series.
Like
I think last year was the Red Sox.
New England Patriots of the MLB.
Well, I mean, but this is even more blatant.
It's more
like this is like they were like so the big thing from this ALCS with the Yankees, like the Yankees third baseman. I'm sorry, the Yankees third base coach was the one who had said something like you could hear whistling.
A whistling sound coming from the dugout.
I
think
really?
Brett Gardner may have also said that.
Okay, Brett Gardner too?
Yeah, maybe. But they mentioned a whistling noise.
And they were whistling to the batter to essentially like, okay.
Well, that's the theory. We don't know if it's true.
We don't know if it's true, but like apparently the theory, the allegation is that they were whispering to the batter to denote because they could see using camera and like technology that what the catcher's signs were.
Yeah.
But there's this one guy made a YouTube video where like you can literally see that like they were playing the Nationals and the Nationals they did that and you heard banging. Every time there was a changeup, you heard banging, right?
Wow.
Right.
And the guy fouled off multiple changeups. Then all of a sudden, the catcher gets up, and he kind of covers his mouth.
Right.
But the pitcher didn't. And the pitcher, you could see, mouths the words, they have our signs. Like you can definitely see he says that they got our signs. Don't give any more signs.
All right.
So the pitcher just decided the pitchers himself and struck out the guy on the next pitch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No
That's
kidding.
nuts.
That's pretty crazy.
And like this guy made a YouTube video where he literally broke down. Like it's only like a 2-minute thing, but he broke it down. It's a great YouTube video.
Yeah, so like it's funny you mentioned like that.
Maybe we'll link if you can find a link.
Yeah, if I can find a link.
I'll for sure, man.
Video. What's it called? There was a pitcher on the White Sox. I read this too in one of the articles. Danny Farquhar.
Okay.
He was with the Chicago White Sox, and he was like, I was pitching.
Farquhar.
Maybe that's who it was. It might have been that because I think it might have been a White Sox game.
Yeah.
Actually. Not Nationals.
All
So
right.
they were playing the East Nationals. He was like, I was throwing some pretty good changeups, and they were fouling him off. But like every time they signaled for the changeup, I heard the banging in the dugout.
That's what it was.
Funny,
yes,
you
Brian,
know what?
Because now I think about it, he was wearing a White Sox uniform.
And then he was like, the catcher came out, we're like, dude, we got to change the signs.
Yes,
as soon as they changed the signs, it's like the banging stopped.
That's it. Yep, that's it. Okay, that's what it was. That is that exact video, and there's video of that. Yeah.
It's sort of crazy because in the summertime, when we played wiffle ball, I kept hearing signs when I was
Yeah.
pitching in the back, and when I was pitching
Yeah.
to you guys, I was pitching.
Yeah,
I was hearing banging.
I don't know what that was. I don't know. It was
And I
weird.
couldn't
Yeah.
s-
No, that was
and I
just
had-
that was a coincidence. Listen,
Oh.
my home runs.
I was
listen,
hearing that too.
everybody-
I
don't-
couldn't figure it out,
listen.
so maybe it was just.
I have never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs by the Wiffle Ball Commission. I have never tested positive.
Yes.
There's no
so,
proof.
So what do we do? How do we punish the Astros?
So, I mean, I think basically you give the World Series to the Yankees. You
Yeah.
give Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander come to the Yankees.
Yes.
And Jose Altuve comes to the Yankees.
and we get the
and,
top
all their
5
money
picks.
Top 5 picks, and all their money comes to loosely related podcasts.
Yes,
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
comes to loose related. And we have season tickets.
To the Yankees now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
there we
the
go.
loose related podcast gets season.
But no,
Sure.
but like realistically, I mean, you obviously have to lose draft picks for sure. I
And
think that's
my
number one,
co-host
one of the
is
big-
here. Molly is with
Oh,
us.
Molly
again
just comes
today,
downstairs.
if
There we
you see
go.
her on the thing.
Yeah,
Say
I
hi,
think
Molly.
that I'd say definitely a monetary fine.
A monetary fine for sure. I
Um,
think you have to lose maybe, dude. I don't know. I mean, I know draft picks in baseball is not is not really as big of a deal,
No.
but still you got to lose maybe draft picks or
Maybe,
whatever. I'm
yeah.
just going by that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It requires something big because they might have potentially won a World Series.
Well,
off
it's
of
going to
it.
be a big
Yeah.
loss.
You
They'd
know,
have to
so-
prove it and somehow, I mean, it could all be hearsay.
And we don't know
whatever.
because
We
the
don't know for
Astros
sure.
are investigating their own organization,
Yeah,
which is
right,
like,
it's so
what the hell's up
funny.
with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that was
Who's
that was
investigating the
hilarious.
investigators?
Yeah. The tweets from that were
In
hilarious.
coordination
They were
with the
so
MLB,
funny.
like bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Coordination.
what are you
Yeah.
gonna find?
Yeah.
I said, hey, listen, we're good. Cool. MLB. All right, cool. Be coordinated.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So
So anyway,
know,
I'm
that's
going to
pretty
go
much it,
find
man.
out about my dream job. I'm going to
yeah,
see if I can get on film and
Do what you gotta
do
do,
what I
man.
got to do. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show today, and
Totally.
I hope we reminded you of some of the fun things when you were a kid, especially at my age, with those little things that we used to do with the rocks and doing tic-tac-toe
yeah.
and watching Saturday morning programming
And
and
inventing
all those
language.
kinds of things,
Inventing the
language,
languages.
evolution,
evolution.
inscription, chisels, chiseling, those kinds of things. And
Yeah, man.
Have a great day. And thank you.
You want to tell them where they can find us? 'Cause I don't think have we done that yet?
Yes,
This
we
episode?
did in
We
the very
did.
beginning of the
that? We did.
episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure.
But yeah,
you mention it
again,
again. Why not? Hell, who
we can
cares?
mention it again. You can check us out on our webpage at looselyrelatedpodcast.com. You can check us out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts. You can come check us out on and see us, because you're definitely going to want to see us
Oh,
on
hell
our
yeah.
YouTube channel, and like and subscribe and leave a comment for us, and follow us on all those other sites, and our Instagram at loosely_related_ podcast. Is that right?
Loosely underscore related.
Loosely
Loosely
_
related and on our Twitter as well, and our Facebook. We have lots of places. We're all over
Yeah,
the
it's-
place. That's
Yep.
why we're so busy, and that's why we
There you go.
have Brian. Like
Yep. Yeah.
he's everywhere. So
You could follow our hologram on hologram.com.
yeah, and thanks again for joining us on Loosely Related Podcast, and come back next week.
All right.
Definitely.
See you
Bye.
guys.